Hello, 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 hello. How's it going there, guys? How's it going there? Daniel, how's it going there? Citrus, what's happening, guys? She turned into a newt. Well, I watched Aliens the other day, and Newt was in that. One of my favorite movies of all times, Aliens. All right, so IFA's here. Trying, I'm trying to fight the urge to go build an airplane. Trying to fight the urge to build an airplane. I'm not thrilled with with how the trailer is performing. I'm also trying to streamline getting stuff out to the mine. So I think I have some idea what I want to do here that will. I'm trying to. Am I trying to spell things correctly, and that's always a problem. All right, so I'm trying to find this Fort Schritt crane. There, it popped right up as soon as I typed it in. So, this is this is an option. I'm trying to streamline how this is going to work. I I don't like the ducks. The ducks really are pretty gross. They're not all that interesting. So, I've been making kind of some Eastern European equipment lately. And so I like this Fortschritt stuff. This was Eastern German, and I think it just looks like it looks very. It's old school, but it's also like, if you try to put some modern stuff that has a lot of rounded edges in game, it's hard to get it to look right without a ton of XMLing, which I don't want to do. And so I was thinking this would be kind of cool to build this Fortschritt excavator. It's not really an excavator. I don't know what they would call it. This has a a knuckle boom bucket on it, but there are different attachments. And so what I want to do is test out a knuckle boom drill. And so what you would do is you would drill. It would have a very small capacity on it. You would pick it up over the trailer, dump out of the funnel, and so that way it would be a little bit more active instead of, because I already have like a drag miner. That was the other thing I was thinking, was I already have the scraper, and that's what its job is. And I can't make it. It's hard to make it look nice, just because the ducks are very. I don't know. They all look the same, and it's hard to make it look good. And because I can't physicalize the coal the way I want, I can't make like a walking floor or a ladder. That's not going to have the coal clip through the blocks. So I think making something like this, and it will dangle, drill, pick it up, rotate, go over the trailer, dump, and then that way it'll be very active. I just have to drive two pieces of equipment up to the mine. This will drill and dump and drill and dump and drill and dump. When the trailer's full, I jump in the truck, I drive off. I think that's going to be a little bit better. So, yar. So I think I'm going to kind of start on that. So I want to do some testing here. We're in the test world. 11 is the number. Let's do this. Put on the old simulatory. 5 is 11. All right. So try to keep this the same length as road. Let's see if I can find this. I'm going to keep looking at this model number for the Fortschritt crane. Fortschritt Weimar T174. Okay. T174. Let's see if I can get a Wikipedia article on it or something. That would be kind of interesting. Yeah. They're calling excavator. So this is wheeled as well, so that would be kind of interesting to do that. I'm not seeing any Wikipedia article on it, but yeah, I have some good stuff on there for as far as shaping and everything. So it doesn't have to be a replica either. So I don't need it to be perfectly on scale or anything. So, but I think that'll be kind of interesting. So actually, the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm not going to build this out yet. What I want to do is test out the most important thing for me is test out this drilling component. Oh my God, if I could speak the English language, we'd be in awesome shape. I want to test out to make sure the knuckle boom drill head will work. effectively. If it doesn't, then there's no point in continuing. So get that function going over the form as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just going to test it out really quickly and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then we know that's not a good idea. Where's Ada? Ada, right there. I didn't mean to do that at all. Alright. So let's see. So I was going to make a really simple setup here just to test, will this even work? Because if it won't, then I need to move on to something else. You know, it's the beginning of any of this type of thing, especially if you're trying to only build new stuff, is that you get to the point where spend a lot of time building, which isn't a bad thing in a building game. But you know, one of the reasons why I'm doing so much building now is, you know, I kind of need to have that garage full of toys before I can really do what I, you know, kind of go do something. Alright, so let's see. Duct. Drill. See, that's annoying too, is the way this, like, I can't, it has to be in the side, which is a pain in the ass. It's just like, they make this stuff tough, man. I can't. Is there any internal capacity in this drill? I don't think there is. See, I wish they would put, like, even if it was like 10 units, it would be worth it for me to drill and then, you know, dump the units. But I don't think they do. There's no internal capacity, which is sucky. Because it becomes very big very fast. Like, give us modular drill pieces. I would love that. Like, more modular stuff would be awesome that we can build as big or as small as we want. Yeah, because this kind of ruins it for me. Like, the scaling of this is just enormous. Like, if I could use one of these... You do think there's an internal capacity? Okay. Let's spawn it. I don't know if it will spawn with internal capacity, but we'll check it. And then I'll try to figure out... Okay. I don't think there is... I don't know, because it spits right away. Here, let's... Here, we can test it out this way. Yeah, I need something for internal capacity. Because 2 drills are just too big. It's enormous. Okay, let's do this. Add-on editor. Where is the mountain? That's airstrip, spy cakes, mainland quarry. Is that Donk? Yeah, that's Donk. Okay. Yep, this is where I want to be. Alright. So there's a deposit right here, I believe. So let's put... let's grab the excavator. The excavator... Oh, good lordy, man. The excavator has just the drill. No internal capacity. And so that will show us. Alright, let's save that really quick. That'll test to see if this has any internal capacity. Because it spits out after... It spits out pretty quickly, so... Because if I drill with this, it instantly drops, so... Let's see if I can remember this at all. Okay, I remember how to control this now, so... There you go. What the hell are my brakes? Brakes. I think I just disabled the tracks and we'll turn the brakes on. Alright. And then where the hell's drill? What's going on here now? Oh, what the hell? Oh, I disabled the tracks and put the brake. I think spacebar is brake. I don't think I, Yep, space track brakes. Okay. Read my own, directions here. It's been a while since I've used this. Alright. So, brakes come on, then I can disable because I was moving the arm and the brakes still wanted to go. So. Let's see. Funnel dump 2, which I don't have that on there anymore. Arm tracks, implement on, off 1. Alright, so like this one here, you notice it spits out instantly. So the way this works, it spits out instantly. I think a funnel has capacity, doesn't it? Yeah, I think a funnel has capacity. I forgot we're in the add-on. Okay. I think a funnel has capacity. I need to check that. Because if a funnel has capacity, I think it's like 25. That's plenty. Because, you know, I want to be very active in this. I don't want to sit there and just, like, do nothing. I want to, let me see. Yeah, see, I already have that set up. I already have a front-end loader. I used to do that where the excavator would drill a big pile, the front-end loader would be sitting right there, and then I would just drive in, scoop it, and dump it. So I have that equipment if I need to. Let's see. Let's try this funnel. Mass 20, it doesn't say. I wish it would say if it has internal capacity of what it is. Let's see. Okay, let's try this. Let's, that excavator's gonna be a pain in the balls. So I'm gonna put a funnel on the excavator. We're gonna do the same test and see if it holds like something. If it holds like, say, 25, gold. Because then I can... The problem is, again, these components are absolutely enormous. And so it makes it hard to do. Okay. So put a funnel on here. And I'm just going to take a toggle. Put dump. Okay. Yeah, so if I can store a little bit in the funnel, the problem is you know, once you get to one duct, a duct is, you know, 9 blocks. No, it's not 9 blocks. It'd be 3 by 3 would be 9 times 3, so 27 blocks, something like that. Maybe I counted wrong. What is it? 3 by 3? 3 by 3 is... Yeah, 9 by 3, 27. Of course. I do like this vehicle. I haven't got to use it very much. So, see if we get a little storage in here. No. The funnel doesn't store. Okay. That sucks, man. That sucks because it's, I just need, like, I don't want a ton of storage. Just a little bit of storage is all I need. Because it's like, the other thing, too, is if the output was up top, I could make it look reasonable. The problem is this friggin' drill is already huge. This drill's already quite large, so if you're doing something small with this drill on it, it just looks gash. I don't care for it. That sucks. Alright, let's, I'll stop bitching about it, and we'll just, work with what we have. That just sucks because it's, you know, it makes things overly large for no particular reason. So, that's off there. Yeah, that sucks. As it really just, it makes things absolutely overly large. Yeah, feature request indeed. Like, one thing I'd like to see them do is this. All right, so I'll talk about this and then I'll move on. But I need to do a feature request. That's the long and short of it. So here, this is what I'll do. I can record while I'm building. All right, so let's do this. Okay. All right, so I'll do a quick record and we'll do that. Stop the music. All right, this is going to be a feature request for some compound parts. And what I'm talking about with compound parts is, for example, this is quite cumbersome, this drill here. As you can see, the only place for us to dump on this drill is out of this join here. So we could put a funnel there. And so therefore, you know, if we wanted to add capacity to this drill, we need to put one of these ducts. Now, not a huge fan of how these ducts look as they are. They're quite large, 27 blocks in there. And as you can see, it makes it so that, you know, it's very lopsided to have something like this. I want to have a little bit of internal storage on this. I don't need a lot, maybe like 10 to 20, you know, ore in this one drill would be good. The other thing with the compound block, what I mean by that is the ability to click on the block and change the orientation. We can already do this with things like, for example, belt-driven pumps. We can go ahead and, with belt-driven pumps here, we can switch the sides with the UI and O keys, as you can see, and that will allow us to change the orientation of the pipe inputs. What I would like to see is this, is the ability to click on this block and have this node up top move, this node on the side move to the top, and then this node here for torque move to here. So that will allow us to put this on, you know, all we really would need is the ability to move it from this face to this face, and then have this one swap with it. That would be helpful so that, for example, instead of having it set up like this, in certain builds that you want some compact space, we could then put a duct on top like so, and if we put this duct like so, and then we take a motor, and then we could stick the motor on the side like this. As you can see, that's much more compact. It's now much longer, but in certain builds, this is going to look all right, where this just looks absolutely wonky woo. If we were to put a duct on the side, this starts to make it incredibly lopsided, or we have to balance it out like this, and then now you've made a build incredibly huge. The other thing that would be cool to see is to have some actual modular drills. This drill is, you know, one size fits all. That's, I don't think, ever really great. The ability to have modular drills, for example, a 1x1 drill would maybe allow us to do handheld drilling. That would be kind of cool. But also, if we had, for example, let's say that, you know, we had the end of this was the drill block, and then we could build some small ducts. I would love to see 1x1 ducting. That would make it much easier for us to move things. You could see some really elegant and cool ducting solutions to move things around. So that would be kind of cool. So that would be my build request. All right, that was a fucked up video, but oh, Jesus Christ, I can't talk this morning. But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts. But 1x1 would be awesome. Like the ability to have a little node that would, you know, like we have a drill block, a 1x1 drill block. I don't care. Make it a 3x3. So like here, do this. So here, like I don't give a shit if it's a 3x3, man. If I could find what I'm looking for here, there it is. Okay. So like, say the propellers are drills. So you have a 1x1 drill. So make it, I don't care. Make it as long as this. Make it this is essentially four blocks long. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make it 4 blocks long. That's our drill piece, so it's not too small. Then have it multi-noded. So I think I would love to see the devs do this where you click on the block and you can move the node. So this node here is here, and then it can be on the side as well. So what you would do is, this is how I would want to set it up. So then you take the motor, and I stick a motor, maybe I stick 2 of them for symmetry like that. And then let's say that this blue block is ducting. So I go duck, 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 goose. All right. And that's my ducting. All right. That would be really cool. Then, you know, this is getting to the point where it's too much work and they won't do it. But because I don't think there's enough. Unfortunately, there's not enough people who like the mining, and I think if they improved it, they could draw more people in, but it would be a lot of dev time to do this. But then, put the ability to duct through this block, and then you put more ducting. So you have a flexible duct. A flexible duct would essentially just be a pivot, and it's called flexible duct, and it allows the ore to go through. Well, then you could really do some really cool stuff. I think they have this habit of making everything huge, and it really makes things tough because making everything enormous, it just makes it really hard to do anything. It really does. Let me read the chat here. Yeah. Yeah, my Steam notifications are working. What's up there, FS? Let me see. Let me check. Oh, I see. Yeah, because I have display capture on. Yeah. If display capture's on, it captures. I see what you're saying now. I didn't understand what you're saying. Yeah, if my display capture's on, it's displaying whatever my monitor is showing, which will show my Steam stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I'll read chat really quick here. Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know, it just kind of took the wind out of my sails. Not like the huge blocks are annoying. Like, I'm happy to have some big stuff, but I would love to see some smaller stuff. Like, that drill bit is absolutely enormous. You know, I think whenever they put something in like this, they need to do a 1x1 size. I would love to see 1x1 jet engines. That would be fantastic. 1x1 jet engines would be absolutely phenomenal. Another issue we have here with like jet engines is, so like say we have 1x1 jet engines here. Let's do that. All right, so you have a 1x1 jet engine, so you can still take the small jet intake. That's fine. All right, if we have 1x1 jet engines, this is what the footprint could look like. All right. So this would be the footprint of the 1x1 jet engine. All right, so you can make this look pretty good, right? There's a nice, compact, small jet engine. All right, very nice. That allows us to do some things like turboshaft helicopters that are small. It allows us to do some small turboprops. Like I wanted to make a Shorts 7 plane. I'll bring it up so you guys can see it. So I was gonna build. So this is gonna be probably kind of like the inspiration for from our first airplane in this live series. Is one of these Shorts SC7 Skyvans. It has these nice small turboprops on it, and that's pretty damn hard in game with the way we have it set up because the turbines are so large. And so, like a 1x1 turbine, you could do it like this. We could make things like APUs would be really cool. And then you'd have the parts. So, like, I'll do a cross section. So, like, you then have, and people have modded this, so it's possible. But then you take, I'll just grab a block that looks like something. So then, like, you take, okay, we have our compressors, we have our compressor section there. And then we would have our combustion, and then we would have our turbine here. And then you give us some sort of, like, we don't even really need a new exhaust block. Like, we could go, like, we don't even need new exhaust block. Let us do that. And the core of the engine would be a 1x1. And then the exhaust block, we can use the old one, and then the intake. Like, that is a perfect size for a jet engine. That allows us to make some smaller stuff and cool stuff like APUs, smaller engines. Like, that's something I wish they would get into. Like, they did it fine with modular engines. Modular engines are great because they have 1x1s, 3x3s, 5x5s. If they did that with turbines where we had, if we had 1x1, 3x3s, these are the 3x3s, 5x5s, that would be awesome. Stuff like that would be really cool if they get that kind of in their workflow when they make stuff. I think that would be a huge thing because so many of us are trying to make small stuff and it allows you to add some functionality. All right, let's try to figure out what the hell I want to do with this now because the drill part is just absolutely enormous. I think this is one of the reasons why people, not only the issues they had with Industrial Frontier with like the logistics don't make any sense, frankly. But like this drill is absolutely enormous, and so let's grab it really quick. I want to count out the blocks. I don't even know how big it is. It's huge. So it's 3 by 3, and then it is 6. You know, so what's that? 3 by 3 is 9. 9 times 6. How many blocks? 54 blocks. So it's 54 blocks for a drill. So that's pretty excessive. You know, if you had a 1 by 1 size, you're now up to, let's say, even if it had the same footprint, you're now up to 6 blocks, right? And then do a 5 by 5 drill, make a mammoth. You know, I think that is something that would be cool because, you know, this is not a self-sufficient block. Like if it had internal storage, awesome. If it had, like I said, 25 internal storage, or the funnel had 25 internal storage, I could make that. That's pretty damn compact. I can put a motor on it. And now we can make our crane. The problem is, you know, that's just absolutely freaking enormous, man. It's just too big. You know, a lot of the things with Industrial Frontier, unfortunately, I love the industry gameplay. It's tough. Like the hoppers are problematic. 3 by 3 is your smallest hopper. Give us a 1 by 1 hopper and give us a 1 by 1 duct. Make the flow rates suck. Make them super slow. Make them like see, here's a duct. Duct is also 3 by 3. That's enormous, man. That's almost a meter cubed. You know, and so you're talking, you know, 3/4 of a meter cubed. You know, and so if you did a 1 by 1 duct, you can start to get around corners. You can start to put it in the arm of your excavator. Like, this just gets so freaking huge, man. It's just like, and I have to abandon this idea that I'm doing right now because it's just like, I can't even think of a way to do this that's not going to be just absolutely huge and garish, which is too bad. I'm not going to give up this easy, but we'll try something. I'll see how friggin' gangly and weird it's going to look, but it's going to look gangly and weird. So that's kind of what I'm afraid of, unfortunately. Because, like, that force shrit is not big. And so this is going to have to be huge. So, my little mini rant to start the video, but, that's why a lot of people, I think, don't play Industrial Frontier, is there's a lot of issues like this that you run into that you, like, have to make enormous builds all the time, constantly. Let's see. But mini rant over. All right, let me read some chat here. Kind of late on chat here. Yeah, like I'll show you. I don't know if you saw my stuff before, Daniel. I'll show you. Yeah, like 1 by 1 jet ducts would be awesome. Like a ton of that stuff would be really cool, you know. So this gives me some stuff. They seem receptive to videos, 454's video on fishing, and maybe I can show them something that will actually be reasonable to do, but we'll see. Yeah, what am I looking at, Daniel? Why are you guys making a big deal out of my Steam notifications being visible? I don't know. Yeah. So, I'm reading Daniel's comment. The ducts have storage of how many blocks they are, which makes sense. Of course, their internal volume, so that's cool. And you talk about... So, this one, this duct would be 27. Is it 27? Let's fill it and check it. Oh, come on, man. I'm already flustered and hitting the wrong buttons. It's bugging me. Yeah, 27. So that makes sense. So it's the volume. So you say, if this hub housing, even if you said this part here, like, it doesn't have to take up the whole drill, but like if you said we have, I don't care, man. Do it like that. That's 3 by 3. So that's 9. Make these have 9 internal capacity on them. And then the funnel would also be a 3 by 3. So give me 9 more on that. That gives me 18 capacity. And I would build a drill with a funnel on the side. Store, what did I say in there? 18. Store 18. So I would drill till it's full. And then I would pick up. I would go over the truck. I would dump the funnel. And so that would keep me constantly moving like how I would in real life where I'd be scooping with a bucket. So I'd reach over, drill, dump, drill, dump, drill, dump. Like, this thing's gonna be just gangly with the size of it. So, we'll play with this and see what it looks like, but I'm already kind of discouraged that this is just gonna be, like, super duper gangly. I just kind of want to see what this is going to look like, how oversized this is going to be. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty damn oversized, so... I think that's something that, you know, as far as the way they operate and make stuff for the game is, you know, they tend to go oversized on everything, and I think it's a big problem because, you know, you very quickly make people where they can't build the thing they want, and they have to oversize everything. And, like, if you say, oh, you know what would be really cool to add to this airplane, to put an APU in there, and then it's like, if I want to do a proper jet APU, I need... it's absolutely enormous. Let's see. Get off the rants in a second here, but like, you know, to do a jet APU would be this big. Where is it? Combustion chamber. You know, and then it's not even a small because I'll show you in a second here. And then we need the medium turbine for any sort of power takeoff, which is the whole point of having an APU. And so then you have to have an intake on there. And so we have our intake, and then you're adding pipe. So the very smallest you could make an APU in this game is going to be, what's that? 12 by 3, no, it's going to be 12 by 4 because you have to account for the piping. So a 12 by 4 is the smallest we can make this sucker. And that's just absolutely insane. Where if you were able to make a 1 by 1, you'd have intake. Let's say combustion was 2, or compressor, combustion, turbine was 2. That right there would be, let's see, what's that? 7 by 2. So you could do a 7 by 2, that would make a small APU. That would be much cooler, but yeah. All right, let's quickly make the, just want to test this. Well, I could already just, like, this is why I think Industrial Frontier wasn't all that well received, was, you know, you get to the point where it's like, you really just can't build the things you want. I think that's always issue. Because it's like, I'm already losing the desire to go do any mining right now. And I like mining. And I'm already losing the desire because it's like, I can't build what I want because the blocks are too big, you know? I think that's a common problem. Where it's just people kind of get discouraged that they just can't build the thing they want because the blocks are so freaking huge, man. Did I not save that? Okay, that's fucking fine. I'm already getting annoyed here. I didn't save it. Oh, it's, I had it copied and I deleted something, so screw it. Alright. But yeah, this, I can already tell this is going to be much bigger than I want it to be, and that makes me not even want to build it, so... Like, Space Engineers had smaller ducting, and so... And I don't like Space Engineers building, but, you know, the benefit was the smaller ducting made it so you could actually build some cool, like, drills and stuff. Yeah, it's like my excavator looks good. My excavator looks like really realistic, but the problem is, you know, I have to have it dump on the ground, which is fine with the excavator. But, you know, and then again, you know, as we were talking the other day, yesterday, about how if we could have a slider where we say, okay, I don't want the blocks to disappear. I don't want the blocks to disappear until... I don't want the blocks to disappear for 5 minutes, and let you set that as the user and say, yep, my PC is not terrible. My PC will not burn up in space if I let my ore last for more than 2 seconds, and let us decide how long we let that ore, up to 5 seconds, but make the default setting, you know, whatever it is now. And that way, if you have a potato PC or you're on multiplayer, yeah, you leave it so that the blocks disappear, so they don't make everything really super duper laggy as hell. But you know, if you don't have a potato, you can afford to do that. So. So like I can already tell this is. It's big. It's not... Yeah, see, look at that. Jesus Christ, that's huge, man. That's 9 across. That's pretty damn huge. It's just like the size of it's insane. Yeah. Yeah, even if I was to put one drill and counterbalance it, I'm now looking at... I have an idea that I could shrink this up a little bit. But you can tell it's huge, man. Yeah, so it moves fine. Again, the benefits of having, actually having the, physics up to high. I'm not having any problems with this because my physics is set to high. Alright, so I have an idea. Let's keep playing with this drill. I'm not going to give up. I have an idea. We'll do an offset balanced. So let's do this. Let's go drill bit. I think I have a way I can shrink this up a little bit, but yeah. Sorry it's so ranty to start with, but it's a little bit discouraging when... you know, when you have an idea... Oh, Jesus, that's ugly as hell. It's ugly, man. That's super duper ugly. It's tough when you have an idea in your head and you really get excited about it, and then it's like, no, you just don't have the block for it there. Alright. It's like, this is like the best I'm going to be able to do here. What are we talking there? 1, 2... Oh, it's even. Of course it's even. Piss off. It sucks. Yeah, I knew it was going to be even, but... Like 6 is the absolute smallest I can get this. 7 is maybe. Yeah. Yeah, it's too big. I'm not gonna like it. It's gonna annoy me, and then I'm not gonna want to play with it, you know? You know, if we had the 1x1 ducts, we had the 1x1 funnels, we'd be able to build such cool drilling equipment. You know, really cool pathing for the ore. You know, we could put it in the arms of things. Like, that is about as small as I can get this Johnny. See how the balance is? I want to balance it with, test it with. See, that's not too bad. It's not attractive. But it's not the ducting. I just really don't like the ducting. Yeah, I'm trying to build a small drilling excavator, but it's being obnoxious to me. Yeah. It makes me not want to drill. That's why I've gone to like drag drills, is because they're space-wise, they make sense. Because the other thing too is, especially I'm trying not to like spend 4 hours moving equipment up to the mine, because like I don't mind doing it, but I have to put it up. I have to move it up there for like. It take me like an hour to get it up there, and I don't want to drill for like 5 minutes to come back. So what I do is I leave it up there and I drill for a long time. I don't want to do like 5 episodes of drilling. And so what the hope was to move one piece of equipment up there, and then move the trailer, and the trailer will go run stuff off. But it's just gonna be a handful with the size. So we're gonna skip the mining for now. Try to decide something else to do. So let's see. What do we have for cash? Let's get in that. Let's get in the world. I want to try to change my mood here with that, but that's very discouraging. You know, I would love to see 1x1 drills. I'll put in a feature request instead of just being a whiner. I'll put in a feature request and I'll make a video. I'll detail it out. I'll show how the benefits of it, why we'd want it. You know, the cool equipment we could make if we had it. I think that's important because I think it needs to, how it could actually save, you know, Industrial Frontier, because like this is what I wanted to build. And so like this bucket here is the size of one of the drill segment essentially. So now imagine tripling that bucket, how it would dwarf this small little excavator. And so that really ruins it. Now if you had 1x1s, you would be able to you could put multi-drill heads on there. You could duct it out. We could do cool things like duct it up into the arm. The armature could actually be ducts. It could hide the ducts, so you would need a 3x1 arm to hide the ducting. And then you could sculpt it, make it look nice, put hydraulic articulation on there. That would be really cool. You know, but with the 3x3s, it's too big. Can't do it. So, all right, let's look at the map. We have 52,000. All right, let's look at. I'm gonna probably build a fresh drilling platform. Okay. I don't care how big it is. I just want to see what it costs. It won't. I hate how it doesn't show me what it costs. All right, I'm gonna no clip because I just want to get moving. I've made like no progress. What do you cost? Alright, 37. So, that's the current drilling rig. Let's make a new one really quick. Really quick, yeah. Let's make a new one. How long it takes us. That's going to get us into money. Just the, unfortunately, Industrial Frontier is a mess. It's going to be... I'm not going to have the tools for it. I'm going to spend the next 8 years trying to build all the tools. And I want to kind of balance the building in this series so that you guys aren't just watching me build the whole time. You can actually watch me do a career game. And it's going to end up with me just building if I start getting into the way Industrial Frontier is set up, because the logistics is kind of a nightmare. Gap start. Okay, gap starts there, so we can actually go in 2 blocks. I'm gonna leave a little gap so that it's not so we don't have a chance to fall in there. And we'll build a fresh drill. I think building fresh stuff's gonna be nice. I changed my methodology too now. I drill and then I put on a pump head. I think my old pump system probably is pretty close to working. Yeah, it should be, because I had air bleed valves on there already. I had purges. So my drilling stuff probably still works, actually. Or my pumping stuff. Alright. So let's go there. Alright, nice. So we have our base. You're not going to be able to see it. Let's cut our hole. Where's the table? There's the table. Rotary table. Alright, there's the table. And then I think I'm going to do, I want this to be a little bit on the, I want this to be kind of hokey, like we don't have a ton of money. That's kind of what I want. So I think I'm going to do, so one cool block, you know, seeing that I spent most of the episode bitching about the devs, we'll talk about the things I like. This clamp, this oil rig drill clamp end that they added was a good addition. That allows us to grab them and move them in manually, so we don't have to have a huge like gantry system to set it up, so that's kind of cool. Oil rod storage, let's go. Okay, oil rod storage. I don't know how deep this well needs to be here, but what you can do is you can just keep respawning too, so. Alright, so there's some pipe. How many do we have here? So that's 100 meters right there. Alright. That's 100 meters of pipe right there. Alright, let's go. Oh, good lordy, man. Symmetry's back on. Alright. Do this. I don't want this to take 100 years, so we're gonna just work with this. I'm afraid this is gonna take forever. Alright, let's go and we'll cut in some new stuff. This way I can save. This is already on the workshop. I will work on this, and then that way we can, if you guys want to use it, you can use it. Sure, this stuff. So any purges. These, I'm not going to do any refining here. So we'll play with this. A lot of this already works. So I made it diesel powered because I wanted it to be diesel powered. Slurry tanks. All right. Pumping oil. I'm not going to pump any oil into this. So this will just be to drill. So we're going to go... gas relief valves on these two slurry tanks. Okay. So that should probably fix that. We'll see. We'll play with this, see if I can drill this out and see what happens. All right. A lot of stuff we don't need, but I'm not going to bother deleting it right now. Alright, so let's save this. Alright, let's see if we can drill this hole. Because we need to get in the money here, so. Okay, that's the cassette. First one anyway, so it doesn't matter where it is. Try to remember all my controls here. Okay. Don't need the pump jack. Oh, remember how to drill? this one has some phantom physics problems that I have yet to completely diagnose. I like this, you know, a lot of people have made automated systems. I kind of like having mine a little bit, you know, less automated. Makes it more engaging. Let me read some chat while this, maybe turn the noise down a little bit. Let me know if the game volume, guys, gets too loud or anything. It sounds different to me than you guys. Yeah, one by one jets would be fantastic. So many opportunities for really cool stuff, like tiny little planes. Like, I think it would be fantastic, man. It would be so cool. I think it would be a crowd pleaser. I think the devs need a W. They need a crowd pleaser. Some of those things, I think would be really nice. Yep, drones, VTOL, small helicopters, like tiny little turbo shafts. Like, there was a cool video I watched on, I think it was Dark Skies, the YouTube channel, and they were trying to see if they could do ducted fan trainer planes. And so, like, they had the little Allison turbo shaft engines, and they're tiny, and they make like 400 horsepower. And so it'd be like, we could do some really cool turboprop stuff like that. I think, you know, miniaturization of parts is a huge thing. That was a big complaint in Space Engineers, because I played Space Engineers before I came to this game. And it was like, that was a big problem there, was the miniaturization. I think the nice thing here is they use smaller blocks for a lot of things, but then we get these huge mammoths for a lot of stuff, and it just makes it hard to build stuff that you want, you know? That kind of sucks. Yeah, see, the problem, Daniel K, is I already have that. I already have a wheel loader. I already have that. So that's the thing, is I wanted to build something specific, and then I couldn't build that specific thing because the game won't allow it. So that's what was frustrating. Like I already have plenty of mining equipment. I could just use old stuff, but I wanted to build something new and different. You know, I didn't want to rebuild something I've already built. There was no point to that as far as I was concerned. I just wanted to build something new, and I couldn't do that because of the limitations. So that's kind of why I get frustrated with it. That's very good, Zachy. Good to see you. Yep, exactly. Get my mind off mining and I'll be happy. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's tough when you see a miss like that. That it was, I think, it was pretty. It was an own goal. Is there was, I don't think you can. I can't think of a situation where you can go wrong by making a one-by-one, fuck this thing. For some reason, this linear track is pisser and doesn't want to operate right. It's phantom physics because, there we go, reset it. It's phantom physics because if I were to no-clip up there and stand on top of it, it would work. But I don't think you can miss when you, I don't think you can miss when you also do a one-by-one grid. That was a big Space Engineers problem. Was Space Engineers made it so that, you know, a lot of the blocks were absolutely huge, and part of it is like we want our stuff to look the way we want it to look. We want it to look good, and when you make it so that things are so freaking huge, it often makes it so that you can't make things look good, because the facade, what you put on the outside, often is what makes it look good. So, like you guys saw when I built that one-by-one block engine, I still had to put blocks around the engine, but it looked great because the ducted fan fits right into it, the jet exhaust fits right into it, you know, and so I think it would really work well. You know, you have the turbine would have a torque connection off of it. I think that's mandatory, like, yeah, to be able to do, like, sure, make it one block longer. Make a turbine section that is one block. If it doesn't have a torque connection on it, make it 2 blocks. You know, I think we do need to think about I'm not going to use the word necessarily correctly, but it has the same type of reasoning. Is the if you talk about vestigial code or God damn, I had the word in my head. I wish Rasmus was here. He would know the term off the top of it. I'm essentially talking about old code, vestigial code. Oh, what the hell is it? It's essentially old code and old ways of doing things being left over. And so, like, the devs, when they were doing things like back in the day, if a block needed 2 nodes, it needed to be 2 blocks long. So, say, for example, the camera that can zoom in. The camera that can zoom in, it needs a block for, it's 3 long, I think. So it needs to be able to do field of view, zoom, and it also needs to do infrared. So it has 3 nodes on it, so the block needs to be a 3x1. It really doesn't, quote-unquote, need to be a 3x1, because what you could do is have one composite node go to that one camera. The camera could be a 1x1 block, and it could have one composite node. That composite node could handle all 3. And so when they did old school before composites, you didn't have that. Now, I do think they're improving that. For example, the physics block was a great addition, and I think that shows their new methodology. So I think they're there. But again, one of the reasons why I don't get annoyed as much at the devs as some is I kind of understand that there's only like 4 of them. There's 4 of them, so it's like I'm already impressed. Like, imagine 4 people, and you're like, oh, it's easy. Just do this. Because a lot of people are assuming it's this big company. It's not. And so if it was a big company, of course it would make sense they don't do that. That's like you saw a lot of the people who are pissed off after the pressurization space update. Once they kind of realized that it's a dev team of all of friggin' of 4 people, they were kind of like, some people were like, oh, that makes sense, because it's like, of course they can't do everything right the first time, because there's only 4 people. You can only check so much code, you can only change so much. And so it's easy for me to say, oh, why don't you just do this? It's always easy to give somebody else work. It would be like saying to your partner, oh, why is the house not clean? Well, they worked all day, and they didn't sleep well last night, and they're tired, and so of course the house isn't clean. They're beat, and it's like, well, why didn't you do the leaves today, and why didn't you clean the house today, and why didn't you cook dinner today, and why didn't you do the dishes today, and why didn't you do the laundry today, and why didn't you do this? Because there's just not enough hours in the day if there's 1 person. Now you have 2 people. Well, guess what? It's still going to be tough to get all that done. Now you have 3 people, it starts to get easier. Now you have 4 people, now people can have a life and get those things done. Now you have 5 people, and now it's easy to do those things. Now you have 6 people, and now people are sitting around too much, not doing enough, and so you can add more features. And that's kind of, I think, why sometimes, I'm a little bit easier on them than others, because it's like, I always go back to that. There's only 4 people. And then you say, is this a good job if only 4 people did it? And I think often the answer is yes. If it was 20 people, you'd say, yeah, that's not enough work for 20 people, but, and I think that's because, like, literally you'll get people who think it's a 20-person company, and it's not, Yeah, I think somebody looked up the numbers and they thought it was 4. I don't have any internal knowledge on that, but somebody looked up and they thought it was 4. It made sense to me. I think that sounds about right, but who knows? Is it possible to refine uranium without the industrial DLC? Yeah, you can mine uranium. Citrus has not seen all of my videos. Yeah, I have a uranium tutorial. There is Cavern of Thales. Yeah, I don't think you can drill. You can't mine without the drill, though, right? And I don't think you get the drill without Industrial Frontier, which I'm not against. It's they do a good job of keep letting us have the parts for decoration, but I think you do have to buy the DLC if you want to actually things to function. I'm not against that in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, because at the end of the day, without new revenue, they move on. So I'm pretty sure. Oh, I don't know about uranium, because uranium you need for nuclear stuff. They may have made an exception on uranium. I'm not sure. Yeah, I see what you're saying now, because you wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, let me look at Cavern of Thales. Cavern of Thales is right here underwater. I think if I don't do any nuclear stuff, so you can't really rely on me for that, but I think you can mine in Cavern of Thales. I'm not 100% sure, so do not quote me on that one. Like, coal, you can spawn coal, and part of the reason I think they made it so you can spawn coal is for that reason, is if you didn't have the DLC, you can, oh shit. Pisser. That's Pisser. Do I have one on me? I don't. Okay. I'm going to be dicking around here because to fight the frustration from earlier, just zooming and booming. I'm not going to worry about no clipping for right now. I just want to... And again, this is, you know, I was frustrated earlier. I'm not really frustrated anymore. But this is like, you know, I talk about why I turn on creative menu. It's like there's so many cases where, like, for example, this was working fine. It was burning up. And it's not a big deal to just go and no clip and get a fire extinguisher. It cuts the there's no frustration now that, you know, I did that. I'd be bummed out if this friggin' thing burned to the ground, you know. All right, so what we want to do is let's do a save really quick here. I'm going to change this over to that save. All right, I want to detach the swivel clamp. Did I merge these? I didn't. Okay, let's merge these up. Okay. Okay, that's not going to work. So let's go arm in. Okay, that's fine. Table clamp needs to come off. Slurry pump can come off. That can come off. All right. This is going to get despawned. I don't know why the wind is so high right now. It's pretty bad. Remove vehicle from zone. What? There's no vehicle in the zone, you dickhead. What is it doing now, man? It dropped the rod. Okay. Let me grab my save and see if it, if that's what it is. It won't let me despawn the thing. Now, I'll try to catch up on chat here. Yeah, so I don't know about nuclear. I don't use it. Yeah, legacy code. That's what I was trying to think of, legacy code. You know, so you have a lot of old way of doing things, then you try to plug in new systems, and they're just not going to work, unfortunately. Let's try to despawn this thing. I need to keep that connected here. All right, let's try to despawn this. I don't know why it's not letting me despawn it. What the fuck? That's getting me frustrated, man. I can't despawn this. That's really a bunch of nonsense. What does it not like that it won't let me despawn this? How far am I in this hole? I've only got 3 pipes in. Why won't it let me despawn this? Do one more reload of this, then I'll just roll it all the way back. Yeah, legacy codes. That's what I've heard is 4 people. Yeah. Well, I'm reading Daniel's comment here. It goes, but from the update notes, you can clearly see they don't have a PR department. It makes me laugh to death when people are like, oh, they need to hire a better PR manager. They don't have a PR manager. It's 4 people. It's like, you know, that's what you can kind of see. Like, a lot of people don't have an understanding. Oh, Christ. Don't have an understanding of, there's really not a lot of people in this, you know, making this game. So it's like they don't, this is not EA. They don't have a marketing department. They don't have a PR department. They don't have these things. So it's one dude who has like 10 other responsibilities who writes out a quick little, you know, weekly update. And that's like, people were all pissed off. They're like, oh, they're gaslighting us, all this other nonsense. It's like, dude, it's the same guy who's building the game who's like doing the messages. It's not somebody who went to college for communications and has 10 years in marketing and PR and understands how to talk to the public. It's some dude who like went to school to be a programmer, who is also doing the payroll, who's doing this, who's doing that. And that's why things are kind of a messy, is because it's like, you have one dude doing all the jobs. It's like it makes sense that they're, they don't do everything perfectly. And that's kind of why, like, I'm a little bit, and I think if you put it in that context, that's, why I don't get frustrated with them as much as a lot of people is, if you put it into that context that it's 4 people, you quickly say, oh, that's a reasonable amount of work. That's a reasonable amount of bugs to expect from 4 people. That's actually quite a bit of work from 4 people, and that's kind of why I don't, get annoyed by a lot of their stuff. Is it's a small dev team. You start to think of it on that scale of it being a small dev team, it starts to make sense why things take a while. Why it, people are like, oh, space DLC sucks. This took 4 years. No way this took 4 years. Yeah. Now I put it in the context of it's 4 people. Could you do that in 4 years? Probably not, And so I definitely couldn't do that in 4 years. In not 4 years. I definitely couldn't do that in a couple of years, I said 4 years because it would be me extrapolating my time out 4 times, but, so you start to see it starts to be more reasonable, I think, when you start to put it in the context of how many people are actually working at that company. You start to see, of course, their promotions are not flawless because that's not, they don't have somebody who that's their profession, And a big part of it is like, you become an expert in your field. So it's like somebody who does marketing is an expert in marketing. They do really well at marketing. They know the ins and outs of marketing. They know, what are things you should avoid, what are things you can say without pissing people off. You start to get into, somebody who's a developer now trying to do that job as well. You can see why they make a lot of mistakes and errors because that's not what their forte is. Their forte is something else, It's why, for example, why a lot of the ideas they make with logistics are just don't make any sense, because they're not logistics professionals. They haven't done any. They haven't spent the last, like I have 13, more than that. What is 5? So what? 18 years in logistics. I've been in logistics for 18 years, so I can start certain things I look at don't make any sense to me, but I don't get pissed off at the devs that they're not experts in logistics because they shouldn't be. They don't have the experience in logistics. You start getting people who are experts in logistics, and if they made those mistakes, you'd be like, dude, you know better than this, but they don't know better than this. You don't know what you don't know. And so it's like, I don't know anything about programming. So it's like, one of the last things I'll do is go, oh, this should be easy to fix. I don't know it's easy to fix, No clue if that's easy to fix, Because I don't know anything about logistics. I don't know anything about software development. Nothing. So I have no clue if it's easy or it's hard or it's, And it's like, it would be like, people saying, it's funny. I had a passenger one time. The passenger, we were flying from, where the hell? It was somewhere in the Midwest. That's all you need to know. We're flying somewhere in the Midwest, and we left 5 minutes early. So say our departure time was 6 o'clock, so we left at 5:50. All right, we left at 5:55. We left 5 minutes early, and we arrived 15 minutes early. So we made up time in the air. So we were there early. We left early. We arrived early. So the problem is, especially if you're like the first flights in, what they do is they store the airplanes at the gates. So because they store the airplane at the gates, because they don't have a lot of parking for airplanes overnight, they put as many airplanes as they can on the gates. Then what happens is, as the arrivals come in, they take tugs and they push them off the gates, and they go park them on the hard stands as the planes who are departing come off the hard stands. So you're moving the planes off the hard stands, and you're replacing them with planes on the gates, and then you're bringing in the new arrivals. And so that's how it works. And so so this past year, again, we're 15 minutes early, right? So we get into Chicago 15 minutes early, and there's no gate for us because the maintenance has yet to push that plane off the gate. And so so we have this jerk passenger come up and sticks his head in the cockpit, which is a bad idea for you to do. Don't go in the cockpit. Let me put it that way. You do not make anybody happy going in the cockpit, uninvited. And so this dude goes in the cockpit, or he steps a foot in the cockpit. I have to yell at him, get out. And then he starts, what's he start saying to me? He said something to the effect of, you know, do better next time, guys, or something like that. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, you know, why were we sitting around for so long? So we got into Chicago 15 minutes early, right? We sat waiting for a gate for 10 minutes because the maintenance crew had to get a tug. They had to go out to the airplane. They had to go in, you know, do all their checks on the airplane, and then push the airplane to a hard stand. And it took all of 10 minutes. We still got to the gate 5 minutes early. 5 minutes before we were supposed to get to the gate, we were on gate. And this guy came and he started complaining. And so, and he's like, he goes, I could have driven faster. And again, we're early. And so I go, oh, 520 miles in an hour and 15 minutes. You must have a really fast car. And he got this pissed look in his face and left. And it's so the whole reason I brought that story up was, you know, that guy knew nothing about anything. He didn't know anything about our operations. He didn't know anything about aviation operations. He didn't know anything about anything, yet he wanted to come and he wanted to tell us, the professionals, how to do our jobs. And so I tend to keep those little life lessons in the back of my mind when I want to bitch about something that the devs do. Now, you heard me bitching about a bunch of stuff the devs do this morning, so I hardly don't do that. You know, I definitely do bitch about the devs now and again. But I think it's, you know, I try to always keep those lessons in the back of my head of, you know what, it's not as easy as you always make it out to be. And so I try to keep that, and that's one of the reasons why I don't bitch at them as much as some others do. But, okay, let's read some more chat here. So I'm rebuilding a bunch of this stuff. Yeah, but for 4 people, I think they're doing a pretty damn good job. And this isn't a cash cow type of game. Like a Fallout Guys is a cash cow type of game where it's like, you know, people can like learn to play in 5 minutes. They can play it for a couple days, then throw it away, and you get millions and millions and millions of people buying the game. This is not that. This is a very niche, complex game. These are hard to make. Yeah, a lot of people like the prefabs. I have no clue why. I don't like the prefabs, you know. Yeah, like, I was talking about this, if you guys watch my latest modular engine tutorial, which the reason I put out another tutorial is, like, I go back and I listen to my tutorials, and there's a lot of breaks, there's a lot of there's not really good, they don't necessarily flow right, and it can lead to confusion. And then I've also come up with some new methodologies that work better. It has nothing to do, like, all of my engines still work from before pressure. They still all work. It's that, you know, one thing is, like, if somebody sees my video got posted post-pressurization, they assume that it works with pressurization. It still worked before pressurization, but they can assume that it works. So that's one reason. The other reason is, like, I listen back to some of my tutorials, and there are huge gaps and skips and breaks in my speech. So it's like, and next thing you want to do is go over here, and you'll take the clutch. And so there are those breaks, and it makes it hard for people to watch. And so I've gotten better at it, and so that's one of the reasons I put out new stuff. And I also like my new methodologies of, like, putting in the idle and the max RPS. Those are new things I've done, so, like, those got included. So some people wonder why I put out new modular engines. Like, the actual operation has not changed. Just some small tweaks have changed. You keep reading here. All right, we'll see you later there, Daniel. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, you're supposed to be able to leave the rod in the ground, though. That's why I'm confused. So. Yeah, that's the thing. I keep seeing this, man. I keep seeing people saying it's a cash grab. And You know, I don't think I think it's people with not a lot of life experience saying this is a cash grab. It's like it really truly does not make any sense to me. Like, how is this a cash grab? A cash grab is a game that would make you an absolute shitload of money. This game is not a shitload of money type of game. This game is a pretty not that much money type of game, you know. This is really a pretty minimal type of game, you know, for money. It's a very niche game. If you wanna rake in cash, you make something like Fall Guys. It's a game that is pretty basic. It takes you 5 minutes to learn how to play. It popped up. It became a phenomenon. It didn't take them that long to make. And, you know, you can play that with your mother. Your mother can jump in and she can play around with it for a little bit. You know, you can go on Thanksgiving and you can sit down with your grandmother and have her play Fall Guys. That is a cash game. Now, I'm not saying it's a cash grab game, but that's a cash game. That's an easy game for, you know, to quickly just, you know, people can jump in, jump out. It's very easy. It has a very low floor. You can teach your 5-year-old nephew to play this game, and you can teach your 90-year-old grandmother to play this game. Like this game, I could not have a 5-year-old nephew learn this game. Just can't do it. Like, they could ride the boat around, but they can't build anything, you know. And so this game, alienation's not correct, but this game makes it so that you really need to learn a lot, and you have to have some experience. You have to have some notion of what's going on to be able to play a game like this. You know, and so when they call it a cash grab to ask for $10 for a DLC once a year, I think back to, like, a reasonable salary for a software engineer is $100 grand minimum. You know, like, people are coming straight out of college making $100 grand as software engineers. And so you say if there's 4 people at the company, that's $400,000 a year they need just for payroll. All right. And then they need to pay taxes. 30% of all revenue goes to Steam. So right off the bat, 30% goes to Steam. 400,000 is going to payroll. Then you need to pay for things like, I don't know how it is in the UK, but I assume they have things like this for, like, workman's comp. You have just plain insurance on the building. You have leases for your office space. You have to pay for the heating, the cooling, the air conditioning for your office space. You have to pay for the internet. You have to pay for all the computers. You have to pay for all this infrastructure to just run the business. And then, after all that is said and done, you then come up with your profit, and then you have to pay, say, 30% to the government in taxes for your profit. And so when they say it's a cash grab, it's like, I look at the numbers of how much, and I'm shocked they can still stay in business. You know, if you're barely making a profit, that is not a cash grab. That is you just barely staying alive. And I don't know their financials, but it sounds to me like they're not, like, rolling in dough, you know? And so that's why I laugh when people like cash grab. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, there are a hell of a lot easier ways to make cash. All right, I got to find out where this change in the way this runs. So let me see. I'll just find this button here. So where is it? Table on is 7. Let's see where this goes. Right into here. Okay. And then that goes up to this, which used to do that. All right. All right, right here. 7-1 rotation. Okay. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save this. We're going to go test this in the... I'm going to test this in the test world. I'm going to just quickly use the bathroom. Because I don't want to get in a situation where, I'm using an absolute ton of cash in my career game when I should be testing it in my other one. Yeah. You know, and it reeks of I don't know, man. They need, you know, it's not a public utility. This is a company. They're supposed to be making profit. You know, it's like I think of just like the people working on the game. And imagine if, like, imagine if whatever job you have, like, me driving around or me flying around, and you had to read everybody's comments on how you did your job today. It's like, it'd be so friggin' annoying. But we make that normal in games and software, and it's like, you don't get death threats for delivering mail every day. You don't get death threats for all this other stuff, and then you get all these software developers, and like, you know, um, unfortunately, you hear it quite often that this sort of shit happens, and it's like it makes me shake my head. I'm like, I wouldn't want to do that. What is going on here? It says there's already a vehicle in the edit zone, so it thinks there's a vehicle in the edit zone already. Is that a bug? Is it because the base is in there? I don't know, man. Okay, that put it in there without the bitch warning at me. So, but a little ranty today. But yeah, that's the sort of thing I just don't get, man. There are so many easier ways to make money, like mobile games. Like, you want to talk cash grab? Talk of Raid Shadow. Now they won't sponsor me. Raid Shadow Legends. That type of game. It's like it has microtransactions out the ass. Like you'll have kids who will, like, their parents will let them play, and then because the credit card information's saved on the phone, the kid ends up spending like thousands of dollars on like Raid Shadow Legends. And like that is what I would consider like a cash grabby type of game. Is it's like pay to win, tons of micro transactions. Like if the devs wanted to be a little bit more not even pay to win, but a little bit more cash grabby with this game, guess what? You want to have that drill for decoration? Nope, you can't have any of the parts. You want to have your if you don't have the weapons DLC, you can't even download a tank to just RP and drive around because half the parts would be missing. Like, that's a huge thing they do, which I think is super cool on their part, is making it so that if you don't have the DLC, you can still use all the parts cosmetically. That is super cool. Most games wouldn't do that. So there are some cool things they do like that are kind of arguments, I would say, against the whole notion of cash grabbiness. I wouldn't. I don't think I would take I wouldn't take a. Damn it! Fucking felt. I didn't put the table clamp on. All right, that's fine. We're in our test world. Okay, so it is the pipe. How am I supposed to switch vehicles when the pipe isn't there? Can I no longer do a pipe swap out anymore? That's annoying. I'm getting annoyed with the game today. It's like things. Yes. Let's see. All right, let's try something here. So it appears I can no longer like have things operate the way it spit the pipe back up. What the hell is that about? See if I can despawn this. Okay. Alright, so I can't drill right now if it's gonna do this. Or I have to make a singular system, which I don't want. No, it didn't spit the pipe up. I dropped it. Alright, let's load this up. I'm gonna use the bathroom really quick. We'll load this save back up here. I'll be right back, guys. All right, let's see. So that must be something new that is not working right. Oh, you know what? I bet it is. I bet I know what it is. It's got to be um, the new way it's working sub bodies because that changed at the same time, and I have not touched oil since. So I bet you that's the new sub body issue. Hmm. Let me read some chat here. I'm gonna retitle this video off of Career Build Series Live 5. This is just gonna be working on builds because I haven't been able to do any career stuff because I've been too focused on other crap. So I'm just gonna do that for right now. I'm gonna take this off because I haven't done any career stuff on this stream at all. So just make this a regular live stream, and I'll fix this thumbnail later. All right, let me read some chat for a little bit because yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get to any gameplay testing some of the stuff. Not a big deal. It's I enjoy the testing, but it's just not really a live career build series if I don't ever get to any career stuff. Yeah, and that's the thing is I wish they would just publish like it's funny like the people who think that the oh I keep hearing that they were playing victim is they what this was the thing if people had not been rude and not done any death threats had acted mature and not lost their minds after the DLC came out broken, there would have been one bad guy, and that would have been the developers. If the small part of the community who have acted very poorly did not act poorly, it would have looked like we're the good customer. We expected a quality product, we didn't get it, and the developers are the bad guys who put out a non-quality product. And it would have made the lines clear and not blurred. Then you had a small part of the community who acted like maniacs. And now you have two bad guys in the room. You have the developers who their great sin was putting out a DLC that had bugs in it and a major update that had bugs in it. And then you have the small, tiny little minority of the community who were issuing death threats, who were being absolutely obnoxious. And so you put those two together and you say, which is worse? And in my opinion, the people who acted like maniacs are worse than four people who tried really hard for years to put out a quality product and screwed up, made an honest mistake and screwed up. And so it's funny, it's the very people who want to bitch and complain about the devs are the ones that are making the devs seem like what they did wasn't so bad. And it's the same thing. For example, I'll make an analogy. Was we had a car chase, a police chase in my town that ended in my town. It went from like 20 miles and it ended in my town. And they robbed a jewelry store. All right, the criminals. And so they robbed a jewelry store. And so you had clear criminals. These people went and they robbed a jewelry store. They brought guns. They're violent criminals. They are the bad guys 100%. The police chasing them at the time were good guys. They're trying to apprehend the bad guys, right? Good guys, bad guys. Very clear, distinct lines. When they got to my town, they stopped the car, and the cops got out and they beat the ever-loving shit out of the guys who robbed the bank. They didn't just restrain them and arrest them. They started beating them in the street on live TV. And so now you have two sets of bad guys. You have the criminals and you have more criminals because it's a crime to beat somebody who's restrained. And so, it's the same type of thing with this is if the community had behaved well, then it would have been very clear that the bad guy, the quote unquote bad guys, were the devs for screwing up the release. And because people came out and they also did bad things, it almost like it washes what the devs did because of it. And it's like if they really wanted the devs to remain the bad guys, it's like chill out, dude. Be reasonable, and you would make it so that it wasn't it was just the devs who were the bad guys. But I don't know. That's kind of my whole philosophy on that sort of crap. I'm gonna try to stop ranting and get back to what we're doing here. I'm trying to catch up to chat, but I keep getting sidetracked by good commentary. So I saw a dude saying the stormworks devs should take notes from Trailmaker since they release a free DLC about space. Look here. There's a much bigger player base on Trailmaker since it's more. Yeah, you know what? A lot of people have been threatening to leave too. It's like if you're not enjoying the game, play something else, man. You know, they act as though we're all gonna weep a million tears that they chose to play a different game. You know, it's like I played a different game, some different games for a couple weeks, and I enjoyed it, and I came back, and it's like, you know, people leave all the time, new players come in all the time. It's like if you're not enjoying the game, go. You know, it's like coming and letting the game piss you off isn't healthy either. It's like if you're not enjoying something, go do something else, man. And then they act as though you know they did some great sacrifice by moving on. It's like, no, dude. You know, if you're not enjoying something, move on, man. You know, if you don't like pizza, stop eating pizza, man. You know, if this restaurant keeps making bad pizza, stop going there. Go somewhere else. You know, and it's good. It's healthier for the community to get rid of the people who only come and rage. It's like, you know, I used to do that with Star Citizen. I used to go in to the official forum and bitch and complain all the time about Star Citizen. And one, it wasn't making me any happier. Okay, so this isn't going to work at all. Look at this. Workbench not available. Remove vehicles from zone. So that's a bug. We're not even going to play with that. Okay. So that is a bug. So I can't even make this work. So that's got to be something to do um, with see with the new way this operates with subgrids. I'm trying to see if I can take. Okay, so see, this is what's going on here. So see, I was able to take part of this away, theoretically. I think I figured that out. So I took something away, right? Let's see what's here. Okay, maybe I didn't. Trying to see how we have two steering wheels? That something that new happened with the major update, the way that subgrids now work. Clean up vehicle. Okay, let's put it back. Let's try something. Let's try a test here. This is not going to work in a career game. Okay. All right, let's go back in here in the map. I picked this one last time. Let's take this one. Okay. Yeah, so that's what it is let me check really quick. We'll check see if there's a bug report on that. I'm curious to see if there's a bug report on that actual function. So let's see. So we'll search this for stormworks. 6 hours ago, 2. I just want to go into this one. I uninstalled the game and installed again. I had a lot of workshop add-ons, and now they're gone. I understand this, but I installed all the add-ons again. They won't show up in game. I don't know. I thought they were saying that they lost all their builds, and it's like, yeah, you need to back up your builds, guys. That would be my biggest public service announcement. Back up your builds. I have a portable hard drive every couple days. I'll show you guys how to do it right now for those who may not know how to do it. I'm not going to show you my folder hierarchy, but I'll quickly go through and I'll get to the stormworks shortcut. There's your stormworks shortcut, okay? Data, vehicles, copy this. Copy, paste it, rename it, put it on a portable hard drive or somewhere else. Bingo, backed up. What's the size of it? 1.5 gigs, move it over. That's all it takes. Then if something happens with a game, put the new vehicles folder in, change it to vehicles, done. You know, I see horror story day after day after day after day of people who are losing their builds. Please back up your builds. You know, back up your saves. You know, if you go back one, saves, they're all your saves. Copy them. Let's see. All my saves are what do we have? Half a gig. Half a gig for all my saves. So back your stuff up, people. That's going to be I can imagine how frustrating that would be. It's not going to be frustrating for me. I got a hard drive backed up with all that stuff. I've when I moved computers, it was a piece of cake to just move all your builds over. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any. I did type in oil. Um, just type in drill. Oil drilling. There we go. What date? 2 weeks ago. Slurry pump stopped pumping as soon as the rods connected. Worked for me. All right, here's a duplicate. Let's see what it's doing here. Let's see. Huge oil failure. With space up to oil, we stopped drilling. Slurry filtration, everything fails. The fresh water no longer pumped in a slurry filter. Slurry does not. So that's likely pressurization. They just need to change the way to do pressurization, probably. Okay, that's a month ago. So this is a month ago. That's right back then. Okay, so that was an experimental. So 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, oil drilling. Okay, oil drills don't work. Oil pipe doesn't go further. Mine was going fine. That's 3 weeks ago, so that could be a problem. I'm trying to see what the latest is. Set as duplicate. I'm trying to see where it is. Okay, so that's in experimental. That's a month ago. Yeah, so see, I'm not seeing anything that's saying I can't get rid of it. Can't drill. So a lot can't drill, but those are like all a month old, and I was drilling. You saw that. So I'd say the newer updates fix drilling, the ability to drill, but I can't get rid of it. So now that I've searched, I'm going to create an issue. I'm going to do this. Let's go ahead and grab it, put it in. All right, spawn it. All right there. I'm going to take a screenshot of that, and we'll put it on Imgur so that it can do it. If you actually want things fixed, you got to make it as easy for them to know what the hell you're talking about. I go on here all the time, and I read so many that are just like they're abysmally bad and how people explain their problem, and then of course you're going to get the response cannot duplicate, because how could they duplicate it? You didn't explain what the problem was. And it seems like it's an act in frustration, not an act in actually trying to get the game fixed. And it's like, if you actually want some fixed, you really need to be detailed so that they can, because they need to reproduce it to be able to figure out what the hell's causing it. Because, it seems like for a lot of us, things are, we make things in a normal way, but don't necessarily do. A lot of people make some stuff that doesn't make sense, so you kind of have to explain your issue. So so we're going to go, and so you want to get the wording right too. And this could be a duplicate, but I did take the time to look, so. Despawn should be a word at this point. Cannot despawn the oil platform. It says workbench not available. Despawn should be a word. All right. All right, and let's find. I'm gonna grab a quick imager link here. This is the type of thing you kind of have to do. Is this shows them exactly what message they're getting. I try to be as clear as possible. The other thing that keep an eye out for is okay. because they can copy that link. Okay, good. The other thing to keep in mind too is like you see a lot of the bug tracker things. I'm not gonna be able to find one, but you'll have something, and then the devs will respond to you, being like, "Oh, I need more information about X, Y, Z," and people never respond back to them. And part of it is you don't get a ping if you get a message from here, but then they literally they can't do anything if they don't get their further explanation. So the better you can explain it the first time, the more likely it'll get fixed. Yeah, that's the thing is like trail makers. I don't know anything about trail makers. Let's look at it. It's in my understanding of it is it's a much simpler game. Well, again, lower floor means more people can get in. Like again, if you're let's say my nephews are too young now, but let's say I have a 10-year-old nephew, right? Um, how frustrated is my 10-year-old nephew gonna be trying to learn how to play Stormworks? Probably pretty damn frustrated, right? Never has ever driven a vehicle, a 10-year-old in their life, has never operated a piece of machinery, maybe has never even mowed the lawn. And now you're trying to ask this kid to try to build a complex vehicle. They're not going to be able to do it. But like you take a game like this where you can just, again, I've never played this, but I assume it's like a standard stock plug battery on, make work. Put wheel on, put engine on, yay, plane work. It seems very simplistic to me, which is great if you don't want to spend a bunch of time learning things, you want to get in there, that's fine. This is a different game than Stormworks. People keep trying to compare these. The only real, why is my pinging on? Thank you, Citrus. I'll shut my pinging off here. Okay. I'm just going to put do not just, it's fine that you sent me a message, Citrus. I just put that on so that it's not pinging. But it's, they're similar games in the sense that you build stuff, but that's about it. They cheat for you. You don't have to worry about center of gravity. You don't have to worry about center of mass. You don't have to worry about a lot of these things. To a certain extent, they're much more simplified versions, which allows less experienced people to play them. That means that the pool of people you can draw from is bigger, and because the pool is bigger, you can have more people come in. And so Stormworks is its own thing. There's a reason why there's just Stormworks. Is it's incredibly complicated. You have to know all these things. Like I keep saying, people that say that's the pressurization's unintuitive. Pretty intuitive. Like you guys saw me building ballast tanks. Everything made sense that I thought it was going to do. I set out with a goal to do X, Y, and Z. I was able to do X, Y, and Z because it behaved properly. I don't know why, people were struggling with that sort of thing. But, this has a low floor to get in. And because it has a low floor to get in, it's going to get more people. And so you can do a free update because more people are buying the base game. Um, you know, what's the space? See, I see a space upgrade here for $31. I see buy airborne bundle for that. Look at space. Look at this. We have, yeah, these are all the expansions. So what are we talking? 5, 10, 15, 19, 25, 35, 45, 50, $60, $60 in expansions. So $60 in expansions. You could get the bundle, I guess. But no, that just has airborne. So there's $60 in expansions on top of a $20 game. All right, so it's still more money than Stormworks. Still much more money than Stormworks. Stormworks is currently, let's see, 25, 35, 45, 55. Yeah, still more money than Stormworks. So I don't get what their thought process is that it's somehow a deal comparatively. Yeah, so that doesn't make any sense to me either. I'll keep reading chat for a little while. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get much career gameplay. We'll build something. I'm not going to just rant and test the whole time, but we'll build something. But I'm just not going to be able to do it in the career game at the moment. I'm going to try to get something that we can do in career done this episode, and then I'll be ready to go that. But I have to go to do some IRL stuff in a little bit, in a couple hours too. Just read. Yeah, exactly. So I'm agreeing with Citrus's point that, Stormworks is a more niche game, and so you need to keep the revenue coming in for niche games. And that's why when people call it a cash grab, I'm like, dude, if you want to do a cash grab, make it something super simple and easy that people will come in, spend $20, and then throw the game away. And then somebody else will come in, spend $20, and throw the game away. That's what, I paid $50 for this game, and I have 5,000 hours. They're not making much money for me for hanging around. You know, that doesn't make, what, stand by a sec. Okay, I want to make sure this was aligned. Okay, let me keep reading. How's it going there, Rasmus? Who's hiring, did you say? Giometta? I don't know. I haven't played Carrot Command 2. No idea. Yeah, I see him back to Raid Shadow Legends. Oh, VR, pretty cool. It's four people, dude. They're testing. It just how much can four people do, man? I can't imagine friggin' doing this stuff. Like I have no software experience, but like I can't imagine trying to like do this stuff for 4 years. Yeah, or do it with four people. It's like that's insanity. Imagine if 25% of your workforce doesn't show up today because somebody called out sick. Imagine if 25% of your workforce doesn't show up today because somebody is on vacation. You know, Imagine you have to ask 25% of your workforce to stay and work on a Saturday, and they say no, and now you've got nobody working on a Saturday. You know, I like some people love small companies. I cannot work for a small company. It's such a pain in the ass. It's like everybody knows all your business, all this other stuff. Like I like a big company, man. You call in sick, nobody cares because it's like they have like 40 other people, and all they have to do is pick up like 20 minutes of slack, and it's beautiful. You know, it's like if you had a small company and one person doesn't show up, you're screwed. And it's like so any of this, like I'm impressed that four people can even do this. A little cynicism there, Quantum. And I'll see you later, Zachy. Did a test made a module engine that will stay at most RPS it can make. RPS connect to medium gen. Actually, that's actually a good thing, FS. I might build my test rig. We'll do that this episode. Yes, agree. Good point by Phil there. Also, backup important documents, not video game related. Yep. Backup all your shit that you need. That's. I see people all the time, they're losing this stuff. Like, you know, important stuff like photos, back that shit up. Like, anything like that that you would, if it would break your heart to lose, it would be a big pain in the ass to lose. We also live in an age where things are really easy too. Like, for example, if you need your VIN number for your car and you're not there, I have a picture of my VIN number of my car on my phone. I can search for it and find the VIN number for my car. So if I'm somewhere and they need, like, if I'm in the registry and they need my VIN, I don't have to run outside. I quickly type VIN in the phone. Bingo, there it is. It's name VIN. I've got my VIN number for my car. It's like stuff like that is important to do. Back up your important files. I have notes for all sorts of stuff that like that are backed up, and it's so easy now. It's like Google Drive is packed with stuff. It's a good life lesson there by the old Phil. Of course you do, Rasmus. The software engineer's main duty is to automate their work. Prefab 50 plum. Citrus is back at ADD to eat. Yep, clipper video. Like I took a video of my water heater leaking the other day. It's like that stuff's really easy now. Yeah, I think prefabs are completely obsolete. So I'll explain what I mean by obsolete is this is why I think prefabs are obsolete. Like some people, like pretty much, I think the only argument some people will make is that they're easy. I don't know about all that, but like I'll quickly show you why because FS was asking why, or what Citrus means by prefab being obsolete. But this would be my why I think prefabs are obsolete. So first thing for me, why I think prefabs are obsolete. One, like you have your coolant built in there, fuel, exhaust. If nobody's ever run these, exhaust there, exhaust here, air there. So you're limited, and then you have your torque out there. You're limited in where you can put things in and out. So it forces you to put your stuff in a certain place. So I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't like that it forces me where to put my stuff. Like air has to go in here. So this is actually not this big. This is actually, if you're gonna loop, you could loop your air through the floor, but let's say the actual size of this thing is like this. So really, if we start talking about the actual size of this thing, in order to get air to flow, you're gonna have to go one up and out like that. Coolant, you can't put a radiator right up against this. You have to gap it because then you need to be able to put these up like that. All right, and so now you're talking, this is the actual size footprint of this engine. And you can't ever change this to be any other way. This is the same thing. If you want to double one of these, you need that much space to double it. Well, you actually don't need that much space. You need that much space because you need offsets to be able to get it lined up so that you can actually do anything with it. And so you're actually using quite a bit of space. And then so like if we said that we use the small as an example, like a 1x1 modular comparatively is, I don't know what the size differences are because we can supercharge and we can do a bunch of things, but like you can make a very powerful 1x1 that's pretty damn compact, and you can also go smaller. This is the smallest engine you used to be able to do. If you look at my Croc, there's the belt drive. My Croc is a 1-cylinder. So like the very smallest engine you could build, let's quickly do it. So like just talking engine size, like I've built some 2-cylinder, some 1-cylinder ultralights. I have some 2-cylinder cars. I have some 1-cylinder cars. I really love building small. And so like if you're not using modules, it's nearly impossible to make things that tiny. I'm trying to get everything looped where it needs to be. So like you pretty much could get an engine, and then we'll put on some belt drives. Like we could go where's the starter? Starter, alternator. Also, you have to run a generator off the prefabs. You don't have the belt drives for some of that stuff, which is kind of sucky Sue. So let's go pump. We'll put in a cooling system just to kind of show exactly how big this thing or small this thing can be. Let's see. Let's go like this. Now it can't go up like that. That'll work. So I'm trying to get as compact of a package as kind of possible here. So let's switch these out. It's like this is kind of about as compact as you could get this here. So let's do cooling manifold here. I would like more of these manifold pieces. That would be really slick if they could do that. Like see, like I could even do smaller. Let's see. Let's go over the top like this. I'm just trying to get about as compact as I could get it. And so like this isn't going to be as powerful as the prefab, but it's going to be more compact because I don't always need all of that power. And so it's like I can show you a bunch of builds that like literally couldn't happen if I had that. So like probably talking maybe that is about what we're talking, just the actual engine's footprint. So you're really getting pretty tiny. And then if you went into air cooling, like that's about the same footprint completely with it plumbed in with a radiator on there. So you see I've got about the same footprint with the radiator on there. So this one, you step in the radiator off there. So that's about the tiniest platform I can get on this. So you see you got a little bit tinier, but I can make one cylinder on that. And then the benefits of the modular is, oh, I don't have enough power. Okay, I want a little bit more power. All right, bingo. And I've increased the size by a tiny bit, and I've just doubled the power. So I've doubled the power with really adding I've added 2 blocks to the whole footprint. And that's why I think these are obsolete, is it's just like, anytime you need to do anything, oh, still not enough power. Oh, okay, I don't have enough power. Okay, let's grab some more power. Okay, yay, look at that. We just tripled the power. You can see how it's very easy. You need a little power, you can add a little power. That's the sort of thing. That's why I think they're kind of obsolete. It's just so easy to like add extra tiny little components here and there. Like, oh, it's still not powerful enough. Okay, we're still not powerful enough. All right. Now I'm probably definitely, I would say, beating the power of that prefab, and I'm probably matching it on space consumption now. And now we're up to, I would say, well exceeding the power limit of that engine. So that would be you see the footprint's about the same, and I'm well exceeding it now. And if I want to build in a corner, I can build in a corner. It's just like you can build it however you want. Oh, I need more space on this side. Okay, I'll move some stuff over on this side. So that's why I like the modulars so much better. I wish they would move to modulars for a lot of stuff. Read some chat. Yes, I agree that they are definitely helpful to new players. Because you can set the RPS limiter on there, but it's like, dude, I understand like PIDs are very confusing. That's why I make tutorials. I mainly started doing it to give back to the community as like things were challenging enough, and so really simple. We'll make just an RPS limiter. Okay. We'll do set RPS. Throttle. So if you're going to put this on something, it would be as simple as this, just doing. You need an RPS read too, but. So you'd have. The problem is I think a lot of people, especially newer players, get intimidated by the logic, and that's their big stumbling block, and so they will go to these. That's why, it's a people, the current challenge going on now, you have to make all your own microcontrollers. And that's an important role of this challenge because a lot of people, they will never move forward unless they're forced to move forward. And once you've it demystifies it. Like, Citrus was talking yesterday about how he makes a ton of, transmissions now because he's realized that they're easy. And they weren't easy before. They were hard before. And once something becomes easy to you, you wonder, why did I never know this before? And of course you didn't, because you didn't learn it yet. So right there we have RPS limiter. It took me all of 2 seconds, but it's very intimidating to somebody new because they don't know the numbers that are good to start with. They don't know how to tune this in. So like that would work fine for me. But unless you know that, that's not really going to work. until you know that number. So, you know, if you're completely mystified by this, and that's why tutorials are important. You come in, you say, okay, 0.18's close. It's running a little bit low. Okay, it's running a little bit low. All right. Now, okay, it's running still a little bit low. It's running better. Okay, it's running better. It's starting to oscillate. Okay, it's starting to really oscillate. Okay, that's running better, but I'm getting a little oscillation now and again. Okay, that's beautiful. You know, and so once you kind of understand these things, it's like super quick to make things run. But, you know, you don't know what you don't know. So that's why a lot of people will use those old engines is they're just setting RPS limiter on them. They're much more simple. Like you'll see new players will do this thing. I see it all the time where they'll take the engine and they rev it up to max and then they just dump the clutch in there and you know, and that's how they do it. And you'll hear their engine screaming and everything else, and it's because it's complicated, you know, and they're trying, and I certainly don't crap on them for trying, as they're doing their part by trying, man. You know, it's hard to do something new, and it's hard to admit you don't know something, and they're doing the work. You see. Wait, is there nitrogen in game? Yeah. Nitrogen, not nitrous. You'd have to, yeah, I don't know how you're getting the extra oxygen on the nitrogen. Or the extra, I'm trying to think, how's the bond working? Let me see. I'm trying to get the, formula. Yeah, that's nitrogen oxide. I want the actual formula. I want the diagram is what I really want. Triple bonded. Okay, it's the triple bond. Okay. I was just curious the bonding on there. Yeah, you work on your air brake system? Nice. Yeah, join the club, Citrus. I can't type. I can't speak today. Yes, I would love it. It's just, for me, you know, I have a lot of quote unquote free time, but I still feel like I don't have any time. And that's kind of, you know, that's can be a struggle at times is, you know, it's like I would rather build a build or play a little bit than go through and bang my head against the wall. And it's the same thing as like with the logic is like you think you're never going to get it and then you get it. And the same things with programming. I was doing Code Academy for a while there, but it wasn't the type of coding that I was interested in. I definitely learned that I don't want to go into software engineering, which was the thought that I was going to do because I need to retool. But flying for me, you know, I've always been an operator. I'm going back to operating. You know, it's not. That's what I'm all about. You know. But I would, at some point, I'll try to get into it more. But it's like, and I also part of it too is I like the old school aesthetic. Like I would like some, like I do make some monitor screens sometimes, but I like the old school dashes, man. Like my motorcycle, I wanted my motorcycle with, I wanted my motorcycle to have analog tack and speedo on it. Like I don't want a digital speedo and I don't want a digital tack. You know, it's very much preference, and so because I prefer that aesthetic, I'm not going to go in there and dick with it too much. And it's also kind of customization, like I can customize the panels better. I think I'm going to do this. I've been wanting to do this for a little while. I'll do it with you guys right now because this is no longer a career build series episode. I just wasn't getting anything done. I got on my mining rant. Instead of just ranting, I will try to make a video for the devs at some point of some things I think they could do. Main thing, you know, modular drill bits would be a big thing. I think that would improve it. That would make it so people could build builds they're proud of. I think things are just too big and clunky. I think that's unfortunate. So let's go ahead and so what I want to make is an engine test bench. And a lot of people are struggling with engines right now. So I made the new module engine tutorial, which is a little bit more, it flows better, it's more concise. There are some new things in there. The old tutorials work fine. This one's just a little bit, there are fewer pauses, it flows better. The hierarchies, the orders, things are done. This is also going to slot in with the transmission tutorial. Main reason I made the new module engine tutorial was the transmission tutorial. I want to make it so that you can do the module engine tutorial. Next video is going to be setting up the module engine tutorial microcontroller so that it can accept the transmission micro from the tutorial. So you'd watch the module, if let's say you're a brand new player, you watch the module engine tutorial, you watch the mating tutorial, giggity, you watch the transmission tutorial. Then after that, you're going to have the build the chassis of the car tutorial. So we're going to go over stability, brakes, steering. And then you take the engine from the module engine tutorial, the transmission, and the car chassis. You bolt them all together, and now you have a working car. And so it's going to be a series that you can go from knowing nothing to now building this car. So I've done those before. I've done car tutorials, but this is going to be kind of the new way. And it's more refined and it flows better. Yeah, I would like to get into some of the programming. It's just like, it's the same thing. It's like, I like vanilla ice cream, but I would rather eat mint Oreo, And so I would like to learn the programming, but to a certain extent, I get stuck in a rut where I'm like, you know what? I could learn programming today or learn some more programming today. Or I could just build a new car, and that's often what I'd rather do at times. Is I just rather build a new car a lot of the time. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is build up. I want to build a test bench, and this test bench is gonna it's gonna be like a dyno for engines, so that you can stick it on the test bench and run it. And then what I want to do is, because a lot of, especially new players and a lot of people are frustrated with the changes, pressurization. So I want to get a line of kind of my Pat Motors line of engines out, so you can have large marine engines, you can have car engines, kind of like how I did with the chassis, but it'll just be engines. So engines, transmissions. I want to put more transmissions out there, more engines. Kind of want to make the Lego blocks, demystify the game, make it so that those people who are afraid to play because it's too hard for them can play. Frankly, that's kind of what I'm thinking to do, All right, so you need to test with some sort of resistance. So there's going to be our resistance here. All right, let's grab the... I'm trying to look at the time too. I got something I'm going to at 4:30, so I'm trying to see what the time is. I got a couple hours. I'm trying to think what time I got to get ready. I don't want to get too far in the weeds. All right, let's save this. I know I'm jumping all around today, but I'm kind of on a time pressure too. Let's see. All right. Engine test rig. So yeah, so after I release the module engine, I'm going to start the tutorial and that series. Then I want to start getting into releasing engines, and so got a bunch of things planned for that. Let's build something toward the career build series, because I'm not going to have something ready for that. I've got an idea. Let's try something here. Because I started the episode wanting to do some drilling, and kind of got the ranting out of my system, and I want to try to do something here. So let's see. Again, things are just enorme. Yeah, but I do have a kind of a notion of how to get this so that it's not overly insane. Let's try this. I might be alright with this. That has to be there, okay. Like, even if they added, for example, like if we look at our jet engines, we have this piece, this jet duct straight. See how it's a 1 by, whatever the hell that is, 1 by 3? If we had a 1 by 3 of this duct, that would be big because I could put that on there and I could push this funnel over one. But that's, see, that's another issue. That would be cool if they'd resolve. I think, can I pass that through anything? No, not really. Like, I would love them to do a hydraulic pass. I'm gonna plan on making a video on a hydraulic update, show them how they could do it in a reasonable way that would work well, and I think be not too challenging to add into the game, but would be very positive, because like often what you have is hydrostatic drive. So what you do is you essentially you can do it really simple with the parts we have. You take an impeller. All right. Let's back it up here. All right, take the impeller, right? You put the torque on the torque, right? Then, all right, so what you would do is it's same thing how a turbo would work, all right? And so you have your fluid out, you have your fluid in. And so what you would do is you put the torque connection there. You would run fluid, pressurized fluid in, run the fluid back to the sump. You would take your tank. All right, this tank would have hydraulic fluid in it. All right. The way you plumb this IRL, you want to be doing your fluid in. Take symmetry off. Because what you could do is you just have to run a hose down the arm or a pipe down the arm of your excavator, and then it would be able to run the hydrostatic system. And that's how a lot of this equipment is operating in real life. You have a lot of farm equipment that does this. They just have a hydraulic pump, and or you have the hydraulic system from, so you either do a PTO to a hydraulic pump from the tractor, or you use the hydraulic system off the tractor, and that works the hydraulics in the actual unit. All right, so you go like that, and then what you do is you, this is going to be messy, but then you run this back to the sump. So the sump is just, it needs to go back in a loop back to the tank. So you would run back to the sump like so. I love hydraulics. This was like, as much as there's been a bunch of bullshit and things have been kind of annoying with what happened with it was mostly the pressurization update that broke things. People blame the space DLC. It was the major update that broke most things. The space broke the gravity, but I can't think of anything else that broke. It broke probably the oil bench because of subgrids, but subgrids I think they were planning on doing anyway. So that's kind of your system, and then you would run a pump in here. It could be anywhere, frankly. You could run your pump right there. But this is how a hydrostatic system would run. Now, you wouldn't have it hanging off of this. What you would do is you put all the workings inside the vehicle. Like, you could even run the pump off of, like, you could do another impeller and run that off the engine. And then you would run through your sump here. And so what this would allow you to do is put hoses or pipes running to this, and that would run it. So I think that would be kind of a cool thing to add for the devs. So I'll do a write-up on hydraulics, but I wanted to make it a good video. I want it to be clear and concise and show them that it won't be, it can be beneficial, and show the player base that this is something that would add gameplay, engineering, fun, and would not be abysmal. And especially the big thing for me is show them that it can be done with the parts we have in game. Where is this? Why can't I? Okay, color the drill right there. Done with the parts we have in game, so it's not super onerous to do. I'll read chat in a second. I see it kicking off. So this might this might please me more the way this is turning out. So I'm gonna just do this for knuckle boom. So let's play with this, and I'm gonna make a quick test rig here. Okay. Let's grab this, all this crap. That was one of the big ads I did. Was I added just a base plate because it was like every time I do a new build, I make a base plate. So I finally just made one called base plate, so I don't have to keep making it every time. So I'm actually kind of this. If I do it on a side like this, this may be compact enough that I actually like. I'm happy with it. So that way, maybe I can get back into actually building that vehicle that I wanted to build. Not now, but I'm run out of time now. But the that would be cool to try to get that working for subsequent career build series videos. Alright, let's save this really quick. Not gonna be able to move this, so I gotta get it right on the right spot here. I think right there. Read some chat, yeah. Yes, the whole when I do the test rig, it's gonna have a wide variety of gear ratios. So it's gonna be able to down gear it to like an insane amount. It's gonna be able to up gear it to an insane amount so that you can run through to see your rev ranges, your gear ranges, so you'll know what your maximum gear range is. So the whole point of that test bench is, let's say I put an engine on there, and I find out that my maximum gear ratio is a 9-to-1, and then my minimum gear ratio I can run is a 3-to-1. So you know that's your rev ranges or your gear ranges. So this isn't. I don't like the look of it. It looks like a box man, but this is better than what I had before. Put electricity on. Why is this not running now? I didn't hook it up. Yes, sir. God damn it. I hate it when I do that. This is a pain in the ass when you do it with the add-on. You gotta go back. Didn't hook up the drill. Yeah, I'm just bummed out by the way it looks. It's just gonna look garish, but it's better than it was, but it's not fantastic. Can I save that? Let's save it. Yeah, so you'll be able to walk that test bench through the gears and fine tune it to what you need for ranges. Now autosave should work. That should be recent. Okay. What the fuck? Why would you do that? Why is it jumping when I get out of the seat? That doesn't make friggin' sense. Fan of physics, maybe? Oh, the parts are just so huge. They aggravate me again. It's drilling. It's just speed, so that's working. It's ugly as sin. Oh, it's ugly. Just a lump. It just looks like a lump of shit. It really does. Ugh. If I could put the duct on the back, I'd be perfectly happy. I'd put this duct here. Bingo, happy. Put internal storage in there. So I'll stop bitching about it. I'll put in a feature request for that. Yeah. So I'll make that part of my like industrial, you know, upgrade stuff video because it's like, man, it's just so huge. Like, give me an internal storage of 9 for the funnel, 9 for the drill, and then I have 18 in there. I can drill 18. I can dump it in the truck. Drill, dump, drill, dump, drill, dump, drill, dump, drill, dump. Make it so that this thing does not look freaking ridiculous. Because, like, you know, somebody was talking about, oh, you could just, you know, you could just use an excavator. I have that. Like, I'll show you my system here for that. So, like, this is my... I already have that, so if I do drill, we'll use that. I'd rather use the, like here. So, like, for those who may not have seen last career build series, I have that, and then I have the front end loader. So these are my... So this is for that sort of system. And so what you do is you get in the loader. And then what do I have for the bucket? Left, right? No, what's the bucket? I don't remember. Bucket arms, dump bucket 6. Okay. So this is a high tip bucket. That's how they work. They clamshell. All right, brakes is definitely that. Why can't I dump this bucket? That's a question. Okay, so let me see. 6 doing the, see, that should be controlled off that. Piss off, get out of the way. That opens those. Why is that not closing is the question. Yeah, I don't know why 6 should be closing the bucket too. Maybe I changed it and I don't remember. I can't remember. But anyways, this was the setup I used to have was, you know, and I already have this built, and you have the excavator. The excavator drills. Oh, this is the test one that I didn't mean to have here. Okay. So the excavator drills, and then the front end loader comes, scoops it up. But like I said, I don't want to have 28 vehicles that I have to jockey around. I wanted to have 2 vehicles. I want to have the excavator, and I wanted to have the truck. That was it. You know, and that was why I was trying to get that going. So it'd be like, that's your drilling. And then the loader comes in, if I can get over there in time. Come on. Not gonna be able to tip it enough because the bucket's open. And then you would drive over and you scoop it as that's drilling. So it's not that bad. You drill it as it's scooping. But for some reason the bucket's not closing, so I'll work on that because I don't have a ton of time. So I'll just keep working on some builds. And you would scoop, and then it clamshells to tip. The other thing I would like to see them do is this. Let's get out of this editor. No, I don't want to do that. The other thing I'd like to see them do is make it so that we can tip the hoppers out of the top. Because, like, you know, it's like, don't take away functionality, but let us tip tip the hoppers out of the top. So, like, if I took a hopper, right, and I tip it upside down, don't let it dump out until I trigger it. So then put a trigger on here that I can click on this, and it will let it fall out of the top. And what that will allow me to do is just build a bucket, and when I tip it upside down and use a tilt sensor, when the tilt sensor reaches a certain number, it turns on the drop, and that way I can just tip it out of the hoppers. That would be really cool. I would like that. Let's check the loader out. Wonder why this is broken. Let me check it. Look at it. What's up with it? Product target. That goes to here. Seat. Okay, 3 and 4. Okay, that's in there. All right, so this is so that's how a high tip works. Is you essentially have a flat plate on the back, and because I need to put funnels in there, and because you need you know, a little space in the funnels, I had to do it this way. But that's how a high tip works. Is they put hydraulics on there, and the bucket actually clamshells, and it allows it to split the bucket. And the benefit of a high tip is if you went over a trailer like this, and then, okay, so you're over the trailer, that's how high the bucket can go, right? And so that's how high you can hold your load. But then what happens is you have to tip it down to get the rocks to fall out, right? So now that's your height. So you've lost height. With a high tip, it allows you to... I need to fix that too. Let me see. Currently this is not working. So with a high tip, it allows you to maintain your maximum height, and then you clamshell the bucket, you don't lose any height. That's why they call it a high tip. It allows you to maintain your max height, and with the game, that allows the funnels to be hidden. You know, again, I wish they would make it so that I could just tip out of the front of the hoppers, because that would be much cooler, I think. Let me fix a couple things on this. All right, that's going to arm control to Major Tom. All right, 411. All right, that's why. 4. What is 3? 4 is Is W left, right? Okay. Alright, so I need to work on that a little bit. Right there, I'd say. Nope, that's not it. Where is this being turned by? That was them. Okay. Jump, you scumbag. Really annoy me when you don't jump. FFS, for fuck's sake. Where's my arm connections? Okay, that's 0.9. I want to check the bucket out. Try to just get these limited right. This loader works pretty well, but it's just has some hiccups here and there where like things will get stuck for some reason. Okay, so I need to check the articulation values on that. Because it has lag, it doesn't fucking get on the roof. Come on, dude. That's one. Okay, what's the? I might have XML'd the block on the roof or something, and I'm stuck in it. That could be why I was having issues. There we go. I keep not having the parking brake on, and that's making it roll a little bit, so I fall out. 0.725. Okay, it's already in there. 0.0725. All right, good. Don't do that. Zero. Okay, that's good. And I don't like the way this is driving. I've been meaning to fix that for a while. Hinge right here. Hinge, steering hinge. 801133 hinge. Yeah, sometimes the steering's been seeming delayed, and I want to see what's up with that. It seems to be working pretty well. This is a big Johnny. This is a big loader. And that's part of the problem, too, is like are these mediums? These could be mediums. It's like, you know, you need to make some big shit sometimes to hide because the parts are oversized. This loader's working pretty well. We could use this in game, but it doesn't really go with the aesthetic. That's why I was trying to build something new that went with the aesthetic. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, you scum. This is diesel electric as well. Alright, good. So let's save this up. That's kind of fixed up a little bit better. Yeah, what? Let me see the dates on this. That is about a year old. Yeah, it's about a year old. Yeah, like trailed, the trailed miner I thought was a good idea, but I can't get it to look right, man. It looks like shite. All right, I've got an idea. Let's quickly work on a trail miner. See if I can't get this to look the way I want. I just thought of an articulation idea that it might not offend me. I'm becoming offended by some of the ways that it looks. Because oil's not, that it was kind of frustrating. That's why I made it not a career build series video, and I changed it to testing. It's just the like, I wanted to get ready for mining. That plan changed when I couldn't do that, and then I was like, okay, we'll do oil, and then I can't do that. That's having problems. So I put in the bug report, so hopefully that will get fixed. But we'll see. So let's see if I can get a trailed miner going. I want it to be a little bit different. So it's gonna have to be a dolly, I think. Because if we remember, we hooked it on the tractor, and the tractor was too heavy for the tractor. And so putting a dolly on there really helped. So I'm going to get the mechanism going really quick here. So again, it's offset to the drill, which in this case I'm going to use it to my advantage, but I think it's silly that it's offset to the drill instead of it should be right at the back of the drill and the torque, or we should have the option to be able to do it how we want. It's so fat, so huge, it really is. That lined up. Why does this one look different than the rest? I don't know why. I do like the side tip. I do enjoy that idea. That was kind of nice. Let's try to keep that alive. Yeah, so let's keep that alive. That notion was good. I enjoyed that. Got to do everything you can to make this thing huge, huh? Just it's got a fetish for being huge. It really does. Pain in the ass. that would be my my main thing that a lot of building games do is they make things oversized and it limits your creativity because you start like, oh, I want to build a Corvette. Oh, it's like 3 times the size of a Corvette. Okay, I'm not even gonna bother. You know, so it's like kind of gotta make things a reasonable size so that people can then be inventive and make what they want. You know. Okay. See if I can't get a quick trailed, at least a start on a trailed miner. Trying to think of the mechanics here. I'm conceptualizing it in my head, so I'm gonna get the mechanics right. Okay. Yeah, this is where I could use Big Man with all his mechanical engineering knowledge. Okay. Duct. Duct goose. Duct. Yep. You know, it's very hard to change direction because these are so absolutely enormous. If it was less enormous, I could change direction more readily, and that would make it a lot easier to build what I want because I can't change the direction very easily because these are 3s. That really challenges it to make it work right. Okay, and then I want to do duct goes here, duct. It's gonna bitch at me with a funnel trying to go here, I bet. Yeah. Can I put something here and not have that bitch at me? Yeah, probably I can. Yeah, just trying to conceptualize something that's kind of cool, you know, man. Alright, I got an idea of what I want to do. So I want to get the mechanism working how I need it to, and then give it a test run, just like mechanically how it's running, and I think we'll be able to get it where I want it. Okay. You know, I want this to look like kind of like a sugar beet harvester or a potato harvester that's passing the potatoes from level to level to level. I want it to look freaking cool, man. So that's kind of why I'm sticking around with it. So we'll get this tuned in, and then we'll do the... I liked the side raise on this. We might do it a backward raise. I think that's going to probably be the best way to do it, is rearward. So I was thinking scissor lift, but scissor lift's a lot of work. We could do it right raise off the right side. It's going to pivot up there, so it's not going to hit. Let's try that. I gotta bind it to a base to make it work. Alright, that's fine. So I'm trying to keep all the parts that are supposed to be separated so that it will, I'm gonna get all the articulations where I want them. For now, I'm just going to merge this container here, but it's going to be separate. That's going to be the tip one that's going to tip in the truck. So this is going to go, if I actually hooked anything up, we'd be in great freaking shape here, man. First one here is going to go to this. Second one here goes to this. I'm going to really crank the sensitivities down so that I can get them right where I want them. And then I'm going to make just -1, so inevitably when I hook something up backward, then I'll have to come back. Alright, so the drill is going to go down and make contact with the ground. This is going to swing and go in line with that funnel. Where is it spitting out? Here. Okay, it's hitting right here, I think. That's fine. So it's just getting pinched a little bit. So kind of the notion, see, this is all leaking here. You suck so bad. All right. Okay, I gotta get some notions on there, what I need to do. That's lifting it up too much, all right. Making progress how I want this to look, but I want, like I said, I want it to look like a sugar beet harvester or a potato harvester that has multi-levels and it passes from duct to duct, and if it changes direction, it has to refunnel and drop. It just makes it a hell of a lot more interesting than like it's one long dong hanging off that goes from drill out to the truck, you know? So that's, I find that super boring. This thing's gonna weigh an absolute shit ton too. Yeah, it's being stupid. It's gonna dump. No, this is old stuff. Okay, I think we're good. No, we're dumping a little bit here. Let's see if I'm dumping fresh. Yeah, 1x1 components would just be really great. Spills too much. I can't build any coal because it never works. It's not working. This, like, this overcomes this, and then it spits a block out. It spits coal out, so I don't like that. Yeah, that's freaking annoying, man. Yeah, they just make it miserable, man. 1x1 duct. 1x1 duct would be great. Let's see. Alright, so this is what I'm gonna do. This is the scraper. The scraper works well. I've poured many, many freaking hours in the scraper. So the scraper works really well. It's, show you guys if you haven't seen this. I did do this in the last career build series, so I don't feel that it is too far off, but I need to try to see if I can get this to work with some. Parking brake somewhere. There we go. Alright, so the scraper works by doing this. Let's see. So when the drills turn on, you notice that it kneels and it drills. And you go over and you scrape, and then you do dump. It raises the rear door. And what I was, one notion I had was, so this one dumps in a row. I had a different scraper. Why is this one? That one just dumps. Let's see. And then I tried doing a skip, which was, yeah. So one notion I have is this. So this could be interesting. Let's try something new here. I gotta get rolling soon here. I'll go in like 15 minutes. All right, so I'll kind of conceptualize, show you what I was thinking of doing. So this is a thought. It won't work with the new IFA. It could work with the new IFA. Let's try something super duper simple. I want something to work with that IFA. So I think I'm gonna just go. I've been trying to make something too cool, and apparently that's not gonna be possible. So let's see. Let's get a width on this sucker. All right, that's a perfect width. Beautiful. All right. I'll try to conceptualize this in the next 15 minutes, so I've given myself a time constraint. So we will make it work. Power fast builds here. Sorry about this episode being so all over the friggin' place, but run into some problems, running into some things that I just don't like how they're operating. I think I figured it out what I want to do. All right. I need to start with the drill segment first, and then that needs to scoop underneath the drill segment. All right. Alright, so I kind of got a, so there's going to be a trail drill. Very simple. Drill plus a conveyor system. It's going to be very simple, super simple, and it's going to be dragged between the behind the IFA. This is going to allow me to hopefully take one trip up to the mine. I can detach this and go do, you know, further refinement. And so this will attach right to the back of the trailer on the IFA. All right, good. Let's raise this up one. Let's go ahead and I'm just gonna go like this for now. Where's my wheels? Okay, good. I think this is gonna work. So I was trying to make it super cool and neat and innovative and mechanically cool, but I'm gonna skip that for now. It's just a frustration machine at the moment. All right, and so let's go ahead and I think that's gonna probably hit. So we'll delete this for now, and then I'll make the tongue longer on it. And so this is how it's gonna work. So it will start in the up position like so. Which way is that? Start value is gonna be 1, -1. Sensitivity will just go down to 3. Have another throttle over here. This one will go to the drill itself. Alright. So I think this is going to be the ticket here, is to make it just simple. So this is going to pop up. This is going to hook up behind the IFA. Alright. When it's time to drill, the IFA is going to tip the drill down to touch the ground, which it's doing. It's going to drill and come to here. This is going to swing if it chooses to behave itself. It didn't work at all because I didn't plug it in. All right, right there. All right, so this should be the fold. You fucker. All right. This should be the folded position. So that is what it's going to look like in transport. So nice and compact. Gorgeous. Then the drill, so what's going to happen first is you're going to turn the this out toward increase that. Increase that. All right. So that's the stowed position behind the IFA. Then we want to put it in its working position. So that'll be all microcontroller. This will go up. This will come down like so. All right, so that's actually not bad. What I'll do is I will put another hopper there. So that touches the ground and drills. Fucker. That needs to be moved forward a bit. All right, you know what? It can go up. Up is even better. Let's go up to this block here. Perfect. All right. So just figuring out the geometry. So it needs to go center of the next block. Right there. All right, now let's check the geometry. All right, so that is in the stowed position. Then this goes up and this tilts down. And then that will tip in the back of the IFA. So it probably needs to go down 2 blocks, I'm thinking. So get the geometry done, and then I need to go. But yeah, so I'm starting to feel a little bit better about this. Like this one, it's I'm liking the look of this better. What's going on up here? So in order to let it tip more, it needs to go forward more. So try there, and then like that. Cut that, move that forward like so. Yeah, so I'm kind of starting to enjoy building this one. This one I think is a little bit more where I want it to be here. You know, it's going to be a little bit more simple and maybe a cooler design. And I want it simple where I can just go out there and mine quickly. Like if I want to go mine for 20 minutes, drive the whole IFA out, do it, bring it back, you know. So this will tip like that. This will tip down. That will tip into place. Okay, and now that's going to tip over the top of the IFA. So yeah, so that will work out nicely. So this will work out where, and so this will just drag behind the IFA drilling. It will spit from here into this one and then over. Yeah. All right, so I think that will be pretty good. Let's drop this. If I drop that one, can I get a funnel in there? Can. Okay, good. It's just hitting the ground, which is fine. This is, you know, this is going to be able to drop a couple blocks because I currently have it up on stilts. So. Merge it. Didn't merge it, huh? All right, so there it is in its stowed position. So that needs to come forward 6, 7 blocks at least. That will rotate into position. That will stick over the IFA. So what we'll do is I'll put a movable tongue on this. And that will dump in the back trailer of the IFA. So simple is safe. So. There's the operating position. You have to be longer, huh? That's fine. I have another notion too. I just think of this here for a second. Because I need this to fit in this base. So I'm just working on the articulation for folding here. So if those tip back, this needs to tip that direction. Okay. There we go, baby. So that splits up nicely, and then there we go. Make sure it flows correctly. All right, nice. I'm digging on that. I'm starting to enjoy it again. You know, I was getting frustrated there for a while. Let's try this. This could be iffy. So I need to see how these flow. So make sure that I'm not dumping coal in the ground here. I don't mind dumping a little bit because it regenerates pretty fast in games. So it's not like I'm actually losing anything. You know, it's not the end of the world, but you know, I'd rather it to be reasonably efficient. You know, oh, fuck you, mother. Let's try it like that. Might have to drop down one anyway. Probably need to hook it back in, huh? That's what worries me, is it is hooked in. Shit. Because I didn't put them. Is it bound up? It is bound up because it's off-centered. Okay, so these need to go back to centered or else it's going to bind up. Try this. Yeah, so this is going a little bit better, you know, because I don't want it to look ugly, man. That's a big part of it, is I want it to look reasonable. It's like, and it's so hard to make these look good. And it would be kind of like a trailed harvester. That's what I was kind of trying to get to, is a trailed harvester. All right, folds nicely. All right, so that should work, and I like it. It looks pretty good. That works pretty well, and so this is going to be behind the trailer. So you'd have the trailer would hook this up, and then you'd have the IFA, the trailer, this. You would drag this along. It would drag over the nodes, drill, 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 drill. This is going to spit into this one, into that one, up. You know, it's too bulky because it's threes, but it's, you know, it'll be so much better with ones, but we just can't do it. We'll see how it behaves hooked to the trailer. It might be heavy as a bastard. If so, I need to put a dolly on there, but that's not a big deal. So let's quickly go like this. And then I got to go. Got Friendsgiving this evening. So. All right. And then there's there'll be a motor running that drill, so there's plenty of space to put a motor in here. I could even put a medium motor in there, so let's just do that. Yeah, so there's the medium electric motor. Let's throw a quick motor controller in there just to show that it proof of concept, it will work. Toggle should be hooked to all those. Okay, good. So it folds up nicely. It looks pretty appealing. It hits the motor now. Of course it does, but let's toggle it. Am I spilling? I don't see any spillage. No spillage. It won't tip as far now because of the motor being too big, but you know, all I have to do is extend this out, and then that will work. But that works pretty well. I have no spillage. No spillage here, nothing there, nothing here. It all went in, so pretty simple, and then... Fuck, did that in the wrong order. So, like, it will work fine. Let's do one more test without the motor in there. Like, I could do 3 small motors or something if I need to, and it'll be more compact. Alright, so that's it, the way it should be. Yeah, see, I need to limit. So one of them is going to get limited. This one's going to be limited. That one's going to get a function that will be more. And then, you know, it's not going to work now because I broke it. But yep, so that works. So let's save this. So let's see. Trailing drill. Okay. All right, so that's kind of, I think, pretty good. You know, that will plug in to the back of the IFA. It's going to probably get a diesel motor to run the drill. I would say that's going to be more interesting to me. Yeah, but that's pretty pretty simplistic. It's tough, man. The parts are just too big. If I had 1x1 ducts, I could have made my front end loader. I didn't care how long it took me to drill. It's not, you know, I don't need to make millions. I just need to have fun while I play and make enough money that I can kind of continue on. You know, I don't need it to be super. Let's read a little chat. So I don't know when you came back there, Zachy, but built this trailing drill. Yeah, modular ducts would be kind of cool. You know, the ability to, like, imagine, I gotta go, but I'll show you guys real quick. But, like, let's say we took manifold pieces, right? Let's say you take a manifold piece, and this is your ducts, right? Of course, the flow is going to be slower. Of course, you're not going to be able to hold as much in the duct. Like, each of these ducts holds 27. So make it hold 1. I don't give a shit. You know, it's like, let me do this. All right. Let me go angles, like so, you know, make them look a little bit different if you want. That's going to allow me to go from piece to piece, you know, dumping one at the other time. It's going to allow me to trail, kind of like the small ducts in Space Engineers. Like, Space Engineers has 1x1 ducts, and so it's cool. You can make things, you can put ducts in arms. You can put the, like, you can do this in Space Engineers. You put the drill in the arm of an excavator, and then you duct it from the drill somewhere else, you know, and that's much cooler, I think. The other thing I was thinking too is like a forage harvester. So I have to go, but I'm gonna quickly keep working. You know, like, so a forage harvester, if you look, you know, it goes out and it brings up the, in this case, corn or something. You have side trail forest harvesters. This is kind of what I was thinking with this, was you drag the drill along and it spits it into a trailer. That's, you know, kind of what I was thinking. You know, you do have forage harvesters which will pull their own trailer. This is something I like, see, like that. It's a forager that then has a scissor lift, and this is a high tip, dumps into the back of a trailer. There are a bunch of ideas. It's just, the blocks are just so freaking enormous, man. You know, so just a size limitation. Again, but it's a 4-person dev team, so I understand that they can't do too much. But like, so you have to, so if you're gonna suggest something, it has to be reasonable, that they can put their current plans on the back burner or accommodate what you're asking for with the current plans. You know, they already said last update yesterday that they're planning on, they already have planned the 2 majors for 24. So they have to work on those. You know, so like when people tell them do this, this, they already have a plan that they have to stick to. They know the time limit. They need the major to come out sometime in the new year, and then they need the next one to come out sometime middle year. And the probably, you know, if they do another DLC October, which I hope they do. Like, there was already people in yesterday's announcement complaining they don't want more DLCs. I want more DLCs. More DLCs means the game stays alive. And even if they move on to Stormworks 2, they need the money from DLCs to remain profitable as a business to build Stormworks 2. So, the last thing we need them to do is run out of money. Frankly, that's the death of all games. Is it becomes unprofitable and they stop. And the people asking for that essentially by asking them to give everything away to us for free. You're asking for the death of the game. That's what you're asking for, and that's why that frustrates me. Like, this is a super cool machine. That's a it has it's a big old storage tank on it. But like a bunch of the stuff I like to do, but it's just hard with the pieces being so big. But I'm kind of content with what I made. One thing that could work with the IFA if you want to make two vehicles is you have essentially something like this. I'm trying to find the one for farming sim. It essentially was a forage harvester with a fifth wheel. The issue again, why, like, I would have already built a forest harvester style miner, but this is the problem here. Let me try to find a picture. So like this is how it moves the chaff. It spits it through this nice curved tube and it spits it out, right? Okay. This would be kind of how I'd want to do it. Right, so you have your miner. It has a couple drills. The drills are in the front. If we did, let's say they gave us the 1x1 drill pieces, right? I could build a header this big, because you could put the drill pieces, let's say they're 1x1 actual drills. You put 1, 2, 3, 4 banks of them. Let's say 4 times 4. Let's say there's 16 drill heads in there, right? And then you put ducts and you connect all the ducting, and then the ducting would go up into here. And then you would put a flex pivot duct, or you'd put the funnel drops into a hopper, and then it reducts, right? So let's say we put a hopper here, one of the ones we have, a small hopper. The duct goes up to a funnel, it dumps into the hopper. Then we do a new duct, duct goes up, and then we have the duct go to here, right? And it, let's say you have the pivot, you can pass coal, iron, all that through the pivot. It pivots, and then we have one long arm with a funnel on it. You could do multiple segments, but let's say we just do one segment. That could then make a nice thin 1x1 arm that could reach over into a trailer. I'm not putting a 3x3 shooting out there looking like a huge dong sticking out in the sky going over a trailer. Not doing it. It's just too big and ugly. I can't decorate it. I can't put hydraulics on it because now my 3x3 turns into a 3x5, to put a couple hydraulics on there. So it looks ugly, and that's why I think it's important. Go down, let's get some small parts in there. That would be good. I don't think it's that, I don't want to say it's not hard. I think it would be reasonably easy for the devs to take this part, take all the logic and all the parts of the XML that make it work, and then make it work with a 1x block. And you say, okay, this has a capacity of 27, this one has a capacity of 1. Done. I think that's what I would like to see them do. Shrink these suckers down. Let us do these things. Give us a ducted pivot. We already have a pivot here that can pass liquid through, right? A fluid pivot. Give us a ducted pivot. Same thing. Don't make a new part. Go like this, right? Let's say the manifold pieces are my ducts. I feed in from here. You have a new thing on here. It looks like whatever you want to make it, and that is now a mineral duct, right? It has its own shape, right? And then this one only accepts minerals. It spits out minerals, and then we drag along the front of it. And now that allows me to articulate it. Very cool. That would be really awesome. And that would make us build better things, I think. I think that's another reason why Industrial Frontier is not that well received, is little things like that make it so you cannot build things that look the way you want to. And that's a huge part of the game, is for people to build things the way they want them to look. So, but yep, so I am happy with this at the end of the day. That came out all right. But it was definitely some stress there for a while. Me just getting annoyed with how the parts were looking. The parts were looking gash, and I couldn't get anything I was interested in. Then I went over to oil. Oil definitely has some broken parts in there, so I did put in my bug report like that, like a good little soldier. All right, so let me quickly go through chat, and then I got to run. Yeah, so modular ducting parts would be good. That will be no. It theoretically no, it won't be pulled with the tractor. That will be pulled by the trailer on the IFA. One of the things I don't want to have to bring in multiple vehicles. I want to bring up the IFA with the trailer, drag that empty, drag it across, disconnect it, drive down, go do all the selling, and then go back and get the auger, or even take it with me. You know. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting with a conversion tool. I'm not too afraid of not being able to convert. You know, I would like it to. I would like the new game to be so much better that it, you know, in the way that it functions, that you actually don't mind having to rebuild. You want to rebuild. That's why a lot of people are like, oh my God, all my old builds are broken. I built this a year ago. Like you know, and that's I understand that frustration. People don't have the time to build new stuff or don't want to build new stuff. But for me, like, if new mechanics come in and I have to make a fresh build, yay. I like that, but I do understand a lot of people would rather not have to really start. So it would be cool if, of course, you know, if they can make it so you can convert over easily, great. You know. Yeah, Steam parts are way too big, man. That's another thing is I would love a one by one boiler sounds too small. A 3x2, a 3x1 boiler, or I'm sorry, furnace. Small, tiny, tiny, tiny furnaces. A even a 3x3 boiler. Like you look at the parts, they're just they're massive, man. And that's one of the reasons why I don't do Steam. Is it's did I save this? I did. I'll save it one more time. Like the like if we look at Steam parts, they're just insanity. Like a condenser is huge. And this is another reason why I think Steam wasn't all that well received. People were excited about it. Then I think the wind went out of everybody's sails when they saw the size of the parts because like I was dreaming of building like I don't build anything Steam now, partly because the parts are so huge. It's one of the reasons why people like and were excited about steam pistons. You can build, you can use small steam pistons, and even though the generation is huge, those parts are reasonable in size. But like, look at the size of this shit, man. And then you put in a small firebox. It's one of the reasons why people are excited about um, the electric furnace. Like the electric furnace is a reasonable size, and there's really limited plumbing on that, so that helps. Diesel furnace is huge. Like I have no problem with these things being this big, but give us small options. You know, give us a diesel furnace that's, you know, a small, much smaller than that as another choice. Give us one that's half the size. Give us an electric furnace that's 1x2. Give us a diesel furnace that's 4x2. Give us a whatever the hell this is, boiler that is, I don't know, 3x4. You know, give us an electric, give us a condenser that is half the size. Give us something like this that's half the size. That would allow us to then build some like small stuff. But the giant size makes it tough. So all right, I'm gonna get ready to sign off here. I've been trying to do that 3 times. I do have to run. All right, thank you to the members. Thank you to Side Mountain, Connor Boyle, Danny, Sergeant Chaos, Aaron Repairs, All Citrus, and FS Gamer. Thank you guys for being members. Thank you to Chicken Store for being a patron. If you guys are interested in that, down in the description below. Thank you guys for watching today through all the trials and tribulations of this video. It's not going to be a live career build series video. I already changed over. It's just a regular testing and building video. So thank you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye.